Jackie. Now
Jackie.
we got Jackie. We have Jackie.
Let's see.
Jackie. Now
Jackie.
we got Jackie. We have Jackie.
Let's see.
Jackie. Now
Jackie.
we got Jackie. We have Jackie. Fred. Hi, Fred.
Rip to Fred.
Fucking bitch.
God, he was never useful anyway.
Fucking always fucking up.
I got a bunch of crap I want to talk about tonight.
Me too. Hold on. Let me look at his. Buddy.
Do you want to do both interviews tonight, or do you want to do one and then do the other one next week? Because the mystery interview is 32 minutes, I think. 33 minutes. Like, I did my best to cut it down, and I even went through and edited out all of my ums and all of like the non-essential noises. And like I went,
Jackie, you can give a default volume to.
oh, we appreciate that.
Blacklist. You can blacklist. Oh, okay. So everyone can use Jackie and just play music through Discord. He's one of the regular music bots.
Okay. Yeah, but it sounds like you're going to have to code something.
The thing I was looking at was very similar to Jackie. Yeah, I might just have to make one that just works how we want it, because Jackie's also kind of weird. The thing I was looking at was very similar to Jackie. Yeah, I might just have to make one that just works how we want it. He has a game where you can guess what the song is.
Oh, God.
I don't give a fuck. What a recent one back. There are no boxing moves. Oh, yeah, fucking. Yes, I haven't rejoined. Nice. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, 32 minutes. That was close.
Nice. I can just have him. So I don't have to give him that link again. That's cool. Can I make a playlist with him now? Oh, I guess you can start the countdown or whatever, unless you already did. I don't see you live yet, though.
Yeah, I'm live. We got a minute and 15 seconds.
Nice. I don't see you. Oh, now it shows you. That's weird.
Oh.
Made me watch a fucking ad. Gotta watch your weekly bacon overcooked.
Oof.
You mean overcooked, Gravel. You gotta watch your weekly bacon overcooked.
We're already past the point where we should have pulled it out. Oh, God, it does. It looks so bad when he flips it that final time. Like, it's almost burnt. Oh, no. Rabble's got a hold of the... He's got a hold of the bot. Always past the point where you need to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Smokey, real love can make 3 inches seem like 5. And 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. I gotta push the button. Hey! Ooh, I'm
Hello.
way zoomed in.
Whoa. What?
Oh, wow.
What happened? What happened?
I'm just like super zoomed in on my...
Oh.
Oh, wow. I should have fixed that before the broadcast. What's up?
Welcome to episode 200.
101.
Or episode 100 version 2.2.1.3. I don't know.
I like how you're releasing the full audios as like extra little things.
Well, yeah.
I like
we said
that.
we were going to do that, didn't we?
I thought we were just going to release it on the website, but I like that you're putting it on Spotify too.
I could put it on the website, but yeah, it's on Spotify.
Oh, well, I like
Since Anchor's gone. Yeah, things are changing in episode 100 and beyond because we're now just Spotify. There is no Anchor. Fred has been fired.
Yeah,
Fred
poor
is fucking
Fred.
gone. That's gonna be fucking annoying. He just leaves every 3 minutes. Well,
Oof.
we've got Jackie, who's gonna be bouncing in and out. Sounds like.
Yeah, we'll see how Jackie does.
Jackie might already be fired, or we might have to hire somebody else. No, this is episode 101.
101.
Yeah,
I forgot
something
to do
like
my
that.
blog today. God damn it. I'm now 2 weeks behind.
Where did I put that? I was gonna have Jackie play the intro music too.
Do we dare? I guess we should hit record first.
All right.
Yay.
Should we? Oh, I gotta get fucking that. Yeah, Jackie's not gonna do either. Jesus Christ, this is annoying.
I have been summoned, she says.
All right, Jackie, fuck. Go ahead, roll the intro music. Whenever you're ready.
Today? Whenever?
Whenever. What? Go ahead,
Jackie?
Go. Jackie.
Jackie. Yep, Jackie's fired. I agree. Gone.
Jack. Oh. Jack. Jack. Hello. Hello. Jackie. Jack.
I like how the first time. Hey! Ouch.
Gaming every day. Hey, Jackie. All right.
Yay.
All right. Now, welcome officially to episode 101 of the Pigspot Gaming Podcast. I'm Oreo.
And I'm Q-Stick. And that
No,
was
we
Jackie.
do.
Was.
That was Jackie. That was Jackie. Definitely what Jackie's here for this episode, so I hope you all enjoy Jackie because Jackie's also fired. Fred's fired. We're firing everybody. The only person that we're keeping that we other than me and Q is Pigsbot. Pigsbot is getting a raise. What did he say earlier? It was so fucking funny.
Well, I asked him about the Game of Thrones season 8, and he like went off, and and I was like, Oreo had to have coded that. There's no way that he just figured that out on his own.
No, I didn't tell him anything about Game of Thrones. He just knows Game of Thrones sucks.
It really does. I'm so frustrated. We're watching the last episode, and like we're
Do
about
nothing with Arya. They're like, yeah, fuck it.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, there's so much that they just didn't do, and I
don't get it.
I just didn't like it. I don't understand what their reasoning was. I think that
Well, it's not like they had like a. It's not that it wasn't like fucking their budget. It wasn't that they didn't have the audience. They didn't have to cancel it. It's just that they're stupid. George R. R. Martin even told them that the development of the story and everything would work better if they did 10 seasons. And like, nah, we want to do our own stuff like House of Dragon, which is stupid too.
I think my biggest complaint about the end of Game of Thrones is while like Brandon is like good, like the three-eyed raven or whatever.
Yeah.
The idea of making him king makes no sense because You
Yeah,
know,
that's the one person that like.
why?
Why?
Why? Because I mean, even
Anyone else?
even he says, and like other characters have said to him, they were like, you're our memory. You live in the past. So why would you want a king to lead you into the new age of Westeros? Like,
Yeah. Why do you want the fucking monotone kid that? Yes, everything is everything as everything was.
yeah, like of all, it was just. I
Welcome,
mean,
King Boring Fuck. I am the king of everything and everyone all the time.
I get, we can't, well, I would have liked to have seen John be put on the throne because every step of the way he didn't want any job. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be the king. He didn't want to be the leader of the Night's Watch. He didn't want to be the king in the North. He didn't want to be. He just didn't want to do it. He would have made the perfect king.
That's when you're a good leader. I swear they talk about that in the show too.
Yeah.
The best ones are the ones that don't want to be king.
Right. Except for the
Or
one
fucking or make the king Ellie. Oh wait, she died. That's right. Damn.
Lady Mormont. Yeah.
Yeah,
She had
died, I forgot.
an excellent death for a kid. Like
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. I'll give her that. But well, the other thing too is like, what are they going to do when Brandon dies? He can't carry on the family name. He can't have children.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess maybe
It's just
they're going to like institute like a democratic system.
yeah. Well, and like, why are you ending one of the best shows of all time? Like, Breaking Bad might have gone one season too long, but it wasn't bad. It was fine. Game of Thrones needed to go more, and they cut it short. That's the hardest thing at making a good TV show is like how far do we go?
Yeah.
And you don't want to pull a Lost and try to go too far, and you lose all your audience, you lose all your interest, and you have to hurry and cancel it, and then you don't finish it for those that are still watching. Like, they pulled the opposite of Lost. They fucking threw everything together real quick for no reason when they had plenty of audience still. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No.
It's too bad. What
I
are those idiots' names? They're brothers, aren't they?
Which
Or
ones?
they?
Oh, the Dan and
People
the David and David, D&D, Dan and David. I don't know.
David and David, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
David Benioff and who's the other one?
I don't know.
DB Weiss.
DB Weiss. I don't know. I guess
DB
what really gets me is
Unweiss.
what gets me the most is what is it? 3 years later, 4 years? How long? When did the show go off? And
like 3 years ago or something.
and we're still talking about it. It still has left such a sour
We're
taste.
still upset.
Yeah, it's just, there's when Friends ended, it was over and done with. When Lost ended, despite it ended so horribly. Sopranos. I like the way Sopranos did it. I think they'll always have the best ending to any television show ever.
May 19. It ended in May of 2019.
Okay, so it's
I've
almost.
never
it's
watched
almost
any
four.
of the Sopranos. I've heard it's one of the best, but
It is. It's good storytelling, and like I said, they have the way they end their show. I mean, I guess it's been 10 years since Sopranos went off, so I guess I can mildly spoil it. All of like the power players of the show get assassinated in like the last 5 minutes. It's just everybody getting shot.
oh damn!
And then
I've heard the finale's fucking insane.
well, and then the very final thing is the main character. You don't know if he actually gets shot at the end or not. It's implied that he was, but the screen just goes black. Like right before it happens, it's
that's
over.
how it ends?
And that's how it ends. Like if you're watching it for the first time, not knowing it's coming, you thought like this is a really weird place for them to go to commercial. And
but then that goes to credits.
Yeah, it ends, and I think there's like 5 or 6 seconds of black screen, just long enough for you to question what you're watching, and then the credits. You're like, what?
It's still like better than season 8 of Game of Thrones.
It's still better than Game of Thrones. But I mean that's the bar. I mean that's at least the bar is Sopranos. It was really really good.
Yeah.
Lost.
No,
was,
everyone like everyone's problem with Game of Thrones was like Daenerys would never do that and just start spoilers. But if you haven't watched this,
once again,
all
4
famous
years,
season
4-year-old
at this point.
Yeah, 4-year-old show.
Yeah. Plus, if you haven't watched season 8, that tells me you haven't watched any of it. And if you haven't watched any of it, you'll forget. If I say Daenerys, you won't know who the fuck that is going through season 1.
Yeah.
That's always so funny to me when like you start talking about it, people go, "Oh, I haven't watched it yet." Spoilers. Like I could say any name and anything right now. You know, you have zero context. You
nothing.
don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But
Yeah.
when Lost ended, it was basically.
Didn't it go to season 7?
I don't know how many seasons Lost was, but I know when it ended. It basically the movie was, or the show was based around a plane crash, and the survivors ended up on this island, and all these weird things start happening on the island. The show ends with them realizing that they're all dead, that this is like some death vision.
They were all in heaven or some shit,
and it was
none of all that stuff that happened meant nothing.
Yeah, it did. It meant absolutely nothing. So
yeah,
that
similar to how Game of Thrones, they're like fuck everything. It all meant nothing.
Yeah. And I was just. Let's see. I gotta.
It's too bad when you I don't know, but you just fucking crash and burn like that. I don't know. There's rarely like. That's why I'm always so. I love watching good TV shows. I watch TV more than movies. It's so hard, especially with kids and like schedule wise and like all this stuff. It's hard to sit down and go, all right, I'm gonna watch this one thing for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to watch 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes of the show. And then every chance you get, and then you kind of have that, extra too. You're like, oh, cool. I can't wait to go home and watch the next fucking episode. It's getting so good. But it's so hard. I find a good show and I'm like, man, I hope they don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
I hope they don't ruin it. Like,
well, we were, I don't know who it was. I think it was on I think it was our Friday night games that we were playing. We were talking about the differences between television and movies, and how you're absolutely right. Like these little short bursts of entertainment, these 30-minute, 40-minute story arcs are way easier to watch in today's world than sitting and watching a two-hour movie. Or now that 2-hour movies are a thing of the past. You're not really a movie until you're 3 hours. I didn't realize the new John Wick was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it was just
fucking
because I was like, oh,
yeah, it's weird now when it's under 2.5.
Yeah,
everyone's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. I just I was talking to someone today online, and I was like, yeah, we went and saw the D&D movie this weekend. It was really really good. Had a lot of fun. Your camera just died. Did Oreo die?
No, I didn't die.
Okay.
I'm trying to fix my camera. It's being weird.
Is it pixelating on your end?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's a you problem. I thought it was a me problem. Oh, well.
I don't know.
Okay.
It said the resolution was set to 1080, so I turned it back up. I don't know. Check that and see.
But no, so like I said, we were talking about it, that I was like, oh yeah, we went and saw the D&D movie, and it was really really good, and next week I'd like to go see John Wick, and they're like, yeah, but it's a 3-hour runtime, and I'm like, oh nope, I'm gonna wait till that comes out.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's too long. You're dedicating your whole fucking night to it.
Yeah.
Your whole day.
Well, that, and I remember sitting through Endgame, and it was 3 hours and 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It was something obscene. And I remember leading up to it, somebody posted like, okay, this is non-spoilery, but when this scene happens, it's a good time to go pee because there's nothing going on, story, nothing, the story doesn't advance for like 10 minutes. So if you want to go like pee, now's the time. When you have to do that, like when you have to,
it's too long.
It's too long. It's almost, at that point, you may as well find a halfway point and do it and do a intermission. Just go ahead.
Well, it's fun. It's funny too. Like they do all of that, and they still don't get as much screen time as TV, because
Yeah,
TV will be 8, 10, 12 episodes, 40 minutes long. You're looking like 8 to 10 hours of content per season.
right.
That's way more than you can never get out of a movie. So you can cover so much more. You don't have to rush things and cut things out. Some shows do suffer a little bit. They add too much bullshit in
Right.
to make up the difference and fill the time. But
I was just.
yeah, TV's better than movies, I think.
I agree. Although
At least right now. Right now, TV's so good. Well, in the last like 10 years, TV's been better than movies.
right. For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I
until
just,
season 8 of Game of Thrones.
until season 8, yeah. But and I guess TV, using that term is relative, or not relative, but it's not even like the correct term anymore. Because when you and I are talking about watching TV shows, okay, we're not talking something on NBC or CBS or ABC. We're talking Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and it's like,
Yeah.
what do you even? I mean, our generation calls it a TV show. But like, what's the next generation? Like, what's our kids' generation going to call it? Because
I don't know. Show.
show, I guess.
I don't know if they call it. I think they call it show, but I don't think they ever refer to it as like that. They call it just the name of it.
Yeah,
Have you seen the new
yeah.
fucking whatever on Netflix?
Oh, speaking of new stuff, if you're not watching Mandalorian, you fucking need to be.
Oh yeah, I was
Oh
gonna
my
say we need
God.
to talk about it. Oh my god, this episode. Gosh, man, it just came out a few days ago, so I'm hesitant to reveal spoilers. But that last episode, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau both wrote.
Yep.
It said Dave Filoni was in it, but I didn't see him. I think he was just on the comms with one of the other pilots. Filoni plays one of the pilots.
Yeah, yeah. He plays the wingman of the other X-wing pilot that you meet.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The dude that's gonna play Uncle Iroh.
I'm friends with him on
Which
Facebook, and I cannot remember his name.
The Uncle Iroh guy.
Yeah, yeah,
From
the pilot.
Kim.
He's a 501st member, and
He's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's
I cannot wait to watch him play Uncle Iroh. But we're getting off tangent. I'm trying to think of how to talk about it without spoiling anything. Like,
Why don't we just shelve that one for next week? We'll just stay a week behind on Mando.
okay.
I mean,
well,
there's not too
all
many
I'm
episodes
saying,
left either.
Yeah, 3 more, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we
I
could
think
just
they're-
wait out for 3 weeks and just do a whole,
Yeah, and
a
do a
whole
season.
do a whole season, and
Yeah.
and that gives me time to catch up on Bad Batch too, because, what's going on in Bad Batch right now is even though Bad Batch is taking place before episode 4, it's like, in that time between episode 3 and Solo, that time frame,
Yeah.
even though that's taking place then, it's also working and setting up Ahsoka, and that's what Mando is doing. Mando's
Yeah,
doing the
that's what-
exact same
well,
thing.
with the character introductions, the people you see that I didn't even know who they were. People were all excited that people were showing up, and I was
Yeah.
like, I had to look up who the fuck's who and be like, why is everyone excited for
that person. Yeah.
this person coming? But
It's
yeah,
it's
all
it's
if
all
you
setting
haven't
up
watched
Ahsoka.
last week's episode, all I'll say is, like, it hit me right in the fucking nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, if you like fucking Star Wars, and I don't even follow the lore anywhere near what fucking what Q does. He knows all the lore. I have to ask him lore questions when I don't know what the fuck's going on. But the way they're setting up for like future stuff,
Yeah.
and the way they're giving the redemption arc to certain things was like so fucking good, and like you could just feel it was radiating fucking Filoni.
Yeah. Whenever you get a lore episode, you know Filoni was like all over that episode.
Yeah, I can just see Filoni and Favreau sitting in a room writing that fucking episode and going, oh yeah, okay, and then oh dude,
Yeah.
and then that'll wrap around and like the fucking I can't even
I know.
imagine like
I know, like the first season of Mando was kind of setting up Book of Fett. It
Yeah.
was like kind of steering in that direction,
well,
which was
no,
cool.
the second season
Was the
more
second
so
season?
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whichever one it was. They were they were obviously setting up Book of Fett, and then, but I will say that this season of Mando, what they're doing to set up Ahsoka, is over and above anything they did for Book of Fett. Like this is, they are making sure that you can watch Ahsoka and watch Mando first, and then watch Ahsoka, and be able to understand everything that's going on. And even if you don't know anything about Star Wars, even if you're not, you know, big into the lore or anything else, that you're going to be able to watch just the 3 seasons of Mando, and it's going to roll into, Ahsoka.
I think this season's been so fucking good too that
man,
it's I still haven't watched Andor. Is that what it's called? I still haven't watched that. I need to binge it.
That's the only way to watch that that season. I would have murdered someone if I would have had to watch one episode a week. It was so fucking slow. But watching it as
the
a
first
full
episode,
arc,
yeah, I watched the first one. I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait. If it's all like this, and then the more episodes that came out, I kept hearing more and more that it's building up, it's getting really good. I'm like, I'll watch it all at once. But this season of Mandalorian though is, if you're a fan of any Mandalorian or the Mandalorians as a whole, you're gonna like this fucking season. Like, they really stroke the fucking cock of the Mandalorians and like give you all the backstory and all the cool lore and the fucking.
What I like is, you know, I'm a member of the 501st. There's a sister group called the Mandalorian Mercs, and it's the costume club that does their own Mandos. And every single episode this season's been like, I bet the Mercs were fucking full sail watching this. Like was it the first season? We can talk about this one, I guess. The first episode where they're doing like the naming of the little boy, and all the Mandos are like standing out there, and like the ceremony thing is going on, and they're just panning by all the different types of Mandos. I was just like, oh man, they were just rock hard going, this is everything we wanted in a, you know.
Oh, they were pausing and zooming like it's a fucking porn video.
Yep.
Like
that's what makes it fun. And the 501st is bad about it too. Is whenever there's a new costume or a new character, there's always somebody immediately within hours of the episode dropping, they've got drawings, or it needs to be made like this,
pictures from schematics and
like
breaking it down. And you're like, just let me watch the episode, it's not even over yet.
What are they called, the Imperial officers that are now part of the New Republic, and they're made to wear that uniform with the little red bar.
Oh yeah. Dude, that was such a good episode too. The one that has nothing to do with the Mandalorians, but it's setting up the story. That's so fucking good.
But once again, that's setting up. That season, or that episode, was a huge setup to Ahsoka. But I will say this, because my dislike of the sequel trilogy is pretty well known. They're putting Star Wars is putting all of its weight on the backs of John and Dave to be able to be.
The first season went so well to be able to do. It's so funny when you think about it, and I never hear anybody talk about them, and it almost upsets me because I'm a Favreau fan. Mm-hmm. He literally kickstarted the Marvel universe. Right. The amount of money this man has made for fucking Disney.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well,
he directed the first Iron Man. He, proved the concept of comic book movies can be a fucking sensation. He also directed Elf, which pretty much gave him licensing to anyone, like, just threw projects at him. That's why they threw fucking Iron Man at him. But he launched fucking Marvel. And then they're like, all right, here's Mandalorian. We're trying this new thing with Star Wars. It seems like movies are hard. We kind of did them wrong. They weren't as good as we could have done. We're going to try a different avenue. Can you please do what you did for Marvel? And Favreau's like, I fucking got this.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing, is at least with Marvel, that they had a blank slate, that he could do anything he wanted to. He had the confines of the comics that only the deepest of nerds read. But so the
vast pretty much do whatever. Iron Man, You just have him in the suit, and that
Yeah,
counts.
fine.
Have him do whatever with anybody. It
Right.
counts.
So,
Yeah.
but then, but you're looking at the sequel trilogy and how just god awful they were, and how the opening segment of episode 9 was somehow Palpatine has returned. Like, how is that storytelling? Yeah, how is it? But see, now they Disney has recognized that line doomed the sequel trilogy to failure, and they've turned to John and Dave and been like, can you
They're turning
fix
to
this?
the two Fs, the
Yeah.
Favreau and the
Favreau and
Filonis.
Filoni, F and F. They turned to F and F and they were like, fix this. And he's like, okay, cool. So now watching Mando, watching Bad Batch, which is also an F and F,
Filoni.
F and F project.
Yeah.
Bad Batch, Mando, and Ahsoka are going to fix the clone of Palpatine problem.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what all this is setting up for. Everything is the huge overarching story that they're telling between the latest iterations of what Star Wars has out there as content is how does Grogu connect to Palpatine? And that's what they're doing. And they're saying
and they have to make it cool and satisfy all these nerds that have
they just have to fix the
been-
plot hole.
that have been jerking to this
Yeah.
universe for 45 years or whatever.
Like,
When did the first
nobody-
one come out 77.
Yes. Yeah. The first one came out in May
So, yeah,
11th.
45 years or something. Did I do my math right?
It's Picard. But that's the thing is they're going to show how Grogu they're doing something with Grogu's force ability, and he's already we already know that the scientist is doing something with cloning. And then if you cut back to Bad Batch, they're talking about going to Mount Tantus, which is the Imperial cloning facility that was run by Palpatine, and it was and now it's also the throne of Grand Admiral Thrawn, back then. So, and we're going to see Thrawn and Ahsoka, and we're going to see all of the Ghost crew, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Okay, they're
It's cool
they're
that
finally
they-
fixing it. Now,
Yeah,
I will
it's cool
say,
that they understand that you have to grab that original. I'm trying to think of the word for it. Not nostalgia, but you have to grab that original magic and bring it back.
Right.
But nothing against J.J. Abrams. The first episode, I get what he was doing. Where he literally pulled scenes and went, all right, let's just recreate that exact scene. Boom. Everyone will love that. It's from the movie. Same fucking scene.
yeah, it's the same template.
They're not going scene for scene. They're like going, all right, let's grab the same magic. Let's grab the same feeling. The fucking,
Yep.
the walking around the market and the fucking aliens you see and the weird, it's Star Wars. It's in the Star Wars universe.
One of the things that they've brought back that they didn't do in the sequel trilogy is they brought back practical effects. They brought back puppetry and makeup and puppets. Like all the creatures that, with the exception of the person that we were talking about that you didn't recognize, he's CG, but all of the other
a lot is puppetry.
Grogu's a puppet.
98% of
Yeah.
the time Grogu's on screen is puppetry.
yeah, even that weird jumping around scene from the first episode that everybody's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
terrible. I'm like, it's a fucking puppet. This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Everybody bitched about episode 2 when Yoda was CG and he was bouncing all over the fucking room fighting Count Dooku like he was a rabbit on cocaine, and everybody was like, "Oh, it looked bad. It was so CG. This isn't what Yoda's supposed to do." Okay, now we show you what a puppet bouncing off the walls would look like, and you're like, "Well, not like that." You're like, "Fuck off. This is fun. This is what Star Wars was. They were using, miniature scale, cities and ships and stuff to give this grand scale look to it, and they're doing all of the things that
They're doing all that again. They're bringing back. It feels like Star Wars.
it feels like Star Wars.
There's
what
not a
Star Wars
second
was.
that maybe second season of Mandalorian, which Favreau didn't have as much of a hand in because he was busy trying to get Book of Boba and the other shit together and all this stuff. That's the main problem that I was really worried when they're like, all right, first season of Mandalorian went, and they're like, all right, we're doing Ahsoka and Bad Batch and Book of Boba and fucking uh, what's the other one? What's the other one
Well, you have
with
Andor.
no Kenobi
Oh, Kenobi. Yeah.
and Kenobi
Oh,
and
Kenobi
I was a
so
little
good.
worried. I was a little worried when they're like, "Oh, we're doing these 18 fucking projects," and they went full Marvel on it.
Right.
I was like really worried. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I only trust the FNFs with it, and I
Right.
feel like you're giving too many projects for these two. It's not that nobody else can be creative. It's just I need a creative that also understands the source material and the importance behind it. Like, did you watch that fucking interview with them and then they started just talking back and forth and totally forgot that they were doing an interview about just Star Wars shit?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like that.
we have in 2 weeks we have Star Wars Celebration, and it's in London this year, but it's the Star Wars convention. It's put on by Disney, by Lucasfilm. This is the Star Wars convention.
April 7th. Oh, that's
Yeah,
literally next
or I
week.
guess it's next week. So it starts next week. There's rumors that we're going to get some movie announcements. That there is a
Yeah, I bet they do a whole Marvel. Here's our next phase, and it's
right.
fucking.
Well, see, that was
movies
the thing is they last year, was it last year? I think it was last year they teased that we were going to get a Rogue Squadron movie, and they've dropped that. That's now ended. They're not doing that
Oh,
anymore.
are you sure?
Yeah,
We'll find out next week.
yeah. They dropped they've dropped that, and they're no longer doing that. But I mean, we're gonna get an Ahsoka trailer next week. There's no doubt in my
100%.
no doubt in my mind we're going to get
It's
an
coming out
Ahsoka
in
trailer.
5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like the first look there, and they're going to announce some other movies that we're going to get. I'm sure they're going to announce the High Republic TV show that's coming, the cartoon that's going to go back 1,000 years before Episode 1, and they're going to talk about what the old Republic was like in its height, in its great, in the glory days, and you're going to see the original formation of the Jedi Temple. You're going to see Sith.
When is that coming out?
End of the year, I think.
Around Ahsoka? Because Ahsoka's literally. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You kind of get to see both sides of it.
Yeah. So
the beginnings and the end.
yeah. So I'm really excited for that. I know I say this to a lot of people. Take the time to watch the cartoons, even though Clone Wars is a fucking slog to get through.
There are edits you can watch on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Well, Disney
I've been watching some of them.
Disney Plus has a thing where you can go on and they've got playlists set up. Like, oh, you want to know everything that's going on in The Mandalorian, like all the references to what's going on. Here's 7 episodes from
Is that
Clone. It's
the
on
Disney Gallery or whatever. It's
No,
called?
no, that's a whole
Or is that a
different
different
thing.
thing?
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But you can it's towards the bottom of the Star Wars section on Disney Plus that it's like introducing Mandalorian or something like that, and it's just a playlist from Clone Wars, and I think some of the Rebels episodes too, that just talk about who the Mandalores are, who Bo-Katan is, who her sister is, the fall of Mandalore and and how all that went down, and how
How did you feel when they said Bo-Katan rolls both ways? I was like, I knew it.
I knew it.
She was
Oh.
bi.
I love her. Not only do I love her character, I love the actress. I love Katie
Yeah.
Sackhoff because she was the voice actress of Bo-Katan in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And
didn't you see the interview with her talking about when they told her that, hey, you get to actually be Bo-Katan, like for real?
Yeah. Well, she said even back during the Clone Wars that she's like, if they ever decide to do a live action version of this, she goes, I'm going to keep my body in shape because I'm going to do it. And everybody's like, "Oh, sure, Jan. We're totally going to do a live action." And
then she
gets
did.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's rocking it, and I love
Alright.
it. Love it. So
No, it's really good. This season's so good. And I feel like second season was Favreau was focused on those other projects. And from what I heard, Favreau was a lot more focused on season 3 of this. And then I'm also really looking forward to Ahsoka because I've also heard Filoni has been really focused on that. That's been like his baby.
Ahsoka's his brainchild. He created Ahsoka. That's his character.
Yeah, and I know he's gonna bring some hard fucking his lore game, all the Clone Wars stuff, all the
You're going to get
uh,
Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's all that matters. I mean, it's already been, it's already confirmed. Like he's on teaser
well, Ghost
posters
Crew.
and yeah. So we know we're going to get Thrawn now, and we've been waiting. Well, people like me have been waiting for Thrawn on the big screen or on TV since the 95, 94 when Heir to the Empire came out, and we got Timothy Zahn telling us the story about this alien Grand Admiral that was never supposed to be a Grand Admiral because he's not human, which was the Empire was xenophobic, but Thrawn was so much of a genius that everybody was like, we're not going to fuck with him because he's so fucking smart.
Yeah, and from what the
I
way
just
they're
can't
setting
wait.
shit up, it looks like he might be the main like villain, the main
He has
antagonist of
something.
Ahsoka.
He has something to do with not only the cloning of Palpatine and the creation of Snoke. It's
That'll be cool if they show that like
I guarantee.
happened.
Yeah, I guarantee that's what they're, because like I said, they have to explain that one stupid line in that movie. Somehow Palpatine returned.
It's so funny too when you think about. Maybe I'm wrong, but it really feels like J.J. Abrams made the seventh to like set up. All right, we're gonna do some cool stuff. I went super heavy, just copied a bunch of scenes from the old stuff. You do some cool stuff, Ryan, and then Ryan was like, "Fuck you, I don't want anything to do with your stuff. I'm gonna do my own thing." And then when they gave it back, I feel like J.J. Abrams went, "Fuck you, I'm gonna completely underwrite some of your stuff." And it felt like a director versus director thing, and they
was.
totally forgot that they had Star Wars fans that
I mean-
need to appreciate and watch this. It felt like JJ went, "Fuck you, guess what? Palpatine's alive." And
Right. Well, and that was kind of what happened in the original trilogy, because Lucas directed the first one and then passed
Yeah.
it off to another director for the second one, or for Empire Strikes Back, and the same thing happened with Return of the Jedi. Is there was not as much continuity to Lucas's story that he originally intended that actually went into Empire and Return of the Jedi, but we forget that because it's we're nostalgic to the original trilogy, the rose-colored glasses. We don't see all the problems that happened between the two, because one of my biggest annoyances in the original trilogy was the lines that a young Jedi named Darth Vader betrayed and murdered your father, and he was a pupil of mine, and I hated that connection. And then when you turn to Empire Strikes Back, and you get this, Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker. I am your father, and you're like, and then you get to Return of the Jedi, and Luke's like, "What the fuck, Ben? Like this isn't what you told me." And and Ben's like, "Oh, what I told you was true from a certain point of view." Like, whose point of view? Like, that's always been my question.
And then you have to get F and F have to somehow answer that.
And then here comes
by
F and F to
making
fix it.
Kenobi. Kenobi. And they're like, oh. And now it's one of everyone's favorite fucking thing. They go, look, he did kill him. Like, because F and F fucking fixed it in Kenobi.
It. Yes, that's where I was headed with this. And that's why F and F is going to fix the line of somehow Palpatine returned. They're going to fix it.
It's funny, too, when you look at even the prequels, 1, 2, and 3. 1 was good. 2 was like, what the fuck? And then 3 kind of brought it back. 3 kind of brought it back around. So I guess they kind of kept that theme going with 7, 8, and 9. 7 was, you're like, all right. And then 8, you're like, what the fuck? And then 9, like, kind of brings it back, but I don't know.
There was so much more story continuity in the prequel trilogy, and even then it didn't even have. It didn't even have that much continuity. And you're right, Rebel, the Kessel Run thing. That was just a throwaway line in episode 4. It was like, oh, he made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Yeah, and then they had to answer that in the Solo movie, and now it's a cool fucking thing.
Yeah, like, oh, wait a minute,
who
parsec is a unit of distance, not a measurement of time. And they're like, oh, hang on, bro, it's that he found a shortcut because
Yeah,
he
and this ridiculous thing that you
Yeah.
shouldn't go shortcut because
Yeah,
you're gonna go through
yeah,
asteroid field.
he
Like, yeah,
he slingshot around the mall instead of going around it and all this. So I mean, it's like, come on, guys.
directed by Ron Howard.
Uh
Screenplay, I don't know either. I'm just looking at Solo.
oh, Solo. Yeah, that was a
Oh,
Ron Howard
Ron
film.
Howard. Okay.
Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard's dad.
Yeah.
Which
By the way, next episode of Mandalorian is directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm pretty excited.
that means we're going to get some really freaking cool like explosions and shit because she's the one that did the episode in season 2 where they were no season 1 when they were in the little village and had the Imperial Walker coming through at night with the lights and shit and that whole thing. She directed all of
Yeah.
that, and I'm just like, I need that every episode. That was so good.
She's a really good director, and it's funny every time I even hear her name, I just think of her. Probably because I see it at work all the time because it's on fucking repeat. I see her in the Jurassic World movie where she's in the elevator and it like opens.
I like if I was Kathleen Kennedy, may the bitch eventually get fired, hopefully soon.
I thought she did.
Now she's still there. It's coming. From what I gather, it's coming. But I would take I would have F&F do all of the writing. I want them to do all of the writing and screenplays and script writing and do all that. And then I want them to turn the scripts over and alternate between Bryce Dallas Howard and Deborah Chow and just go back and forth between those two as directors.
And fuck, what was his name? There's another. He's done some good episodes too. I can't think of his name right now. Let me look it up. That's what we do.
But in the latest episode, if you haven't watched it yet, there is this is not spoilers. This is just kind of like a fun. Hey, look at that person. They're in a bar, and as they're like panning through the people sitting at the bar, there is a middle-aged Asian woman sitting at the bar drinking. It's Deborah Chow. Yeah, Deborah Chow. So she got like her, cameo in the show, which I like that they're doing that because Filoni's, he gets cameos and she gets cameos and Favreau is Paz Vizsla. So he is he's the guy with the big fucking gun. So I just think it's great. I've had so much fun watching it.
Yeah, I don't remember the other guy, but yeah, I'd be fine with Deborah and Bryce
Just
doing
doing
all the directing.
Yeah. And then
maybe like in very important like plot point episodes or maybe finales or what. So bring F&F back to be like, all right, we're gonna knock this one out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
But,
there.
For the most part, they should be writing. And also, if you keep two main writers that know everything and are passionate and are really good, and you have them doing a majority of the writing across you get that cross kind of promotion, like how this is setting up Ahsoka. Now they make sense together.
Well,
they don't feel like completely different projects.
There was an interview with Pedro Pascal sometime recently. And when he got the call to go do, to come and to interview for Mando, he thought he was just going to go get just a nothing part. He didn't care. He just wanted to, he's like, put me in a stormtrooper and I'll run across the screen and that's all I care about. I'm happy. But when they brought him to Skywalker Ranch, which is Lucas's home, and he goes into this meeting and F&F is there, but one of the things he pointed out was in the room he walked into was all the storyboards for the entire first season of Mando.
Yeah, it didn't F say you are Mando.
You
decided.
are. But the thing that I was going to point out was they had already written out the entire first season. They hadn't even cast the actors yet, and they already had everything storyboarded out. I just don't believe that's what happened with.
That's not how the movies went.
With the sequel trilogy, and it's not.
No,
like I don't even think
it was one at a time, and even while they were writing it, they didn't know what they were doing. They were probably making it up while they were filming it.
Well, I heard that they had to do some serious re-edits when Carrie Fisher died, because that was one of the reasons why the Kelly Marie Tran that played Rose, why she didn't get a lot of screen time in that movie in episode 9 was
she with
she was with Princess Leia. Yeah, all of her Carrie Fisher was like grooming her to be a key role in the Resistance. Like she was going to be that that core person for the Resistance, and that's she spent all of her time with Princess Leia. So when Carrie Fisher died, they had to go and they had to go and re-edit a lot of the film. So a lot of Kelly Marie Tran's parts ended up on the cutting room floor, and I think that sucks because I loved her character.
What Ryan should have done is called F&F and been like, I'm lost. What do I do?
Yeah. I just...
And maybe we're giving too much credit to F&F, but I'm just saying, when you have the track,
we're not giving enough
record
credit
like those two, I'm saying you need to give Favreau more credit. Not you, but I just never hear his fucking name in it. Like, do you know the stuff that this man has done for shit that's been on screen in the last 15 years? Like,
well, I think that's what makes him so awesome as a content creator, as just a creator in general or storyteller. Is
I mention him and like people are like, who's that? And I'm like, the guy that plays the guy in the Spider-Man movies that dates Spider-Man's aunt.
Yeah.
The big Jewish guy. He's doing that. Yes. Yes. He's a fucking he's got a genius mind. What do you mean? Who the fuck is Jon Favreau?
But I mean, like I said, I think that's what makes him such a good person and a good fit for all of this, is that he's not lording it over people, and because I mean, he has the power to put himself in any role in these movies that he wants. He could be front and center if he wanted to be. But he doesn't want to be. He wants to be He wants to be a helmeted character that nobody fucking knows with a really goddamn big gun, and that's he's cool with that.
Yeah. Well, and like when F&F, when it comes to the P's of power and passion, neither of them care about power. They are both focused on passion. F&F only care about P. They only care about the P of the P. F&F are like, I want the P, not the P. So like, that you're right. That really makes them F&F both fucking great for what they're doing. Because you're giving them the world. You're like, here's one of the greatest franchises, the most profitable franchises of all time. I mean, Favreau had a ton of shit that he did for Marvel too. Continuing on, he didn't direct, but he was producer and co-writer on a lot of the newer Marvel movies too. Like,
just the amount of money that he's created, that he has brought into
I wonder
Disney.
what his net worth is, because it's not
it's not proportional. It is not proportional to the amount of money that he's made Disney.
Net worth of $200 million. Yeah, that's fucking
like that's so weird. Like, I could see him making $200 million a year. Like that's where you think someone like him should be at. But just to have $200 million worth of shit.
He's making Disney's billions a year.
Oh yeah, and they paid, what was it, $3.5 billion for Star Wars. And
I think 4.
Yeah,
just under 4.
But they've made they made all that money back, so much more. And
they make that just on licensing.
Yeah, and I mean, despite how bad, I mean, now granted, when you look at the box office figures and the numbers, the sequel trilogy did really well, but in terms of everything else, it wasn't. And
movies have been so far, and like we were talking at the beginning of this episode, TV shows have been so banger. Movies, as soon as. That's why they keep making more Marvel movies, because anything they release that's not a fucking Marvel movie doesn't make money.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I'm going to save some of this for my cream of the week, but I noticed today IGN did a report that the D&D movie beat John Wick at the box office. D&D Dungeons & Dragons movie brought in $38 million at the box office this weekend, and John Wick did $28 million. So a $10 million difference.
Nerdy shit is making money. And there's been 3 John Wick movies before this. I've only seen the first. I didn't watch the second or the third or the new one.
Well, I thought there was a lot of hype around the movie. Like from the outside looking in, even though I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan, and obviously I'm into D&D. I would have said that John Wick beats D&D by the same numbers, by 10 million.
If you asked me,
yeah, to see a $20 million shift in the favor of the Dungeons and Dragons movie,
It surprises me, but
Oh,
also when you think about it, not really. Nerdy shit's been killing it. It's not shunned and shamed before like it was 20 years ago. Now it's the cool thing. Now
yeah.
it's cool to play video games, and now it's cool
I'm
to like Star Wars.
I'm so I'm so thankful that my children, your children, are growing up in a time where it's cool to be a nerd. Because I
Yeah, it's
remember,
cool to be excited when Star Wars
yeah,
comes out.
I remember what it was like back in those days. I remember being picked on because I was like falling asleep in class when I was in. Oh, I'm trying to remember when I was in the fifth grade, I think fifth or sixth grade,
Yeah.
when Return of the Jedi 20th anniversary was released in theaters. My dad and I went to see it opening night, and the opening show was at like 11 o'clock on a Thursday night. So Dad and I went, and I was in the fifth grade, and we stayed up well past. I was already past my bedtime before we even went to see the movie. So, but my dad was like, if you want to do this, we'll do it. But you're going to understand, you're going to school tomorrow. Like, this isn't debatable. You're going to do it. And I'm like, oh yeah, Dad, I can totally do it. And the next day, I'm like, well, why are you
Falling
falling
asleep.
asleep? Why are you not paying attention? Oh, I
Because
went
I'm
to
a nerd.
yeah, I went to see Star Wars. Fucking nerd. But I mean, that's what it was. So
Yeah, and now here we are today,
yeah,
where people don't even know who the fuck Favreau is of FNF.
I agree, Rabble. That's the reason why I'm going to wait for it to hit whatever streaming
that could be
platform
part
it's
of
going to
it.
hit. I'm not watching a 3. I did it with Endgame. I'm not doing it again
Yeah.
with John Wick. I will sit and watch it at home where I can pause it when I can just pause it. Oh, I need to pee? Pause it. Want to go get something to drink, something to eat? Pause it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Avatar is finally available. We can watch it at home, and I still don't think I'll watch it, but I don't know, maybe someday. If I have an extra 3 hours, how fucking long is Avatar?
I
Let me
I
look
didn't
here.
I don't have anything against the first Avatar.
I don't
I
have
just don't
anything
care.
wrong with the story or the actors or any of that. I have a James Cameron problem. I don't give a fuck about James Cameron, and he has an ego problem. He's the opposite of FNF. And when it comes to peas, JC, all he cares about is the P, but the FNF, all they care about is P.
Yeah, I get it.
JC though, he wants the P.
I,
You
I
know,
I respect what he did for Titanic, but that's where.
Avatar 3, Avatar 4. How many of these fucking things?
Oh,
have he made?
he said he's got like a 5 or 6 movie story arc.
3 says it's coming out in 2024. 4 says it's coming out in 2026. I don't give a fuck.
Well, my thing is I don't think James Cameron is going to be alive long enough to see his story completed. Because what was it? Was it 15 years between Avatar and Avatar 2?
Well, at this point, I've heard it's already now he knows where he's going, and they've already got sets and they've already started. Like he's making it right now.
I just don't
It's
care.
I don't think he's filming it right now. From what I've heard, though, they're building sets. Avatar 3 is already underway.
I just don't care. I'll keep
Yeah,
saying
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Avatar. I'm trying to find fucking runtime. 3 hours and 12 minutes.
That's too
Fuck
long.
that. Oh,
Like I said
Jackie's
earlier.
telling me we got to play an ad.
Oh, okay. Let's cut for an ad.
Let's cut for an ad. Fuck James Cameron. He wants too much pee.
Maybe we'll get
Let's see if-
Pigspot to write us a anti
Let's see
thing
if
for him.
When you
Jackie
go
will-
on holiday, there is no finer achievement than doing absolutely nothing. Nothing on the beach, nothing by the pool, walking to nowhere, and chatting about nothing. As an Expedia member, you can experience nothing too. We pride ourselves on nothing. That's why for our holiday special, we are offering a once-in-a-lifetime deal of absolutely nothing off. That's right. We know you like fucking in the hotels, but now you can get fucked by the hotels. Want to get fucked by the airlines too? You've come to the right place. Expedia, made to travel. And fuck over our customers, because fuck you.
Right. So we got some big sponsors this week. Expedia Online. Thank you, Expedia, for the ad.
I learned something this weekend about hotels, and I can't
Yeah.
I can't speak to anywhere else other than here locally. But
Yeah.
local hotels will not rent their rooms out to local people
Why not?
because there's been so many instances of people like, oh, we need to throw a party. why throw a party at our house? Let's just go throw a party in a hotel room where we don't have to clean it up.
Oh shit! Oh, well, how do they check? Do they check your ID and they go,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're a local. We
Yeah.
can't rent to you."
You have to use your driver's license or an ID to reserve a room, because I was, all of the towns and stuff have like local Facebook pages and whatnot, and one of the town right next to where we live, somebody made a post. It was like, hey, something happened in my house, and they had to like get a hotel room for the weekend.
I don't know why I laughed at that. I just pictured
Yeah.
the way you said it. Something happened in my
Something,
house.
I don't remember what it was, but it was something bad. Like, I don't know,
What do you
something
mean?
flooded. Somebody died. I don't know. But anyway,
something happened.
something happened.
So he needs a place to stay.
Yeah, they
I
needed a
gotcha.
place to stay for the weekend, and they said that they went to stay at a one of the hotels that are owned by like Hyatt. I don't know which one they were talking about,
Yeah.
but they were like, yeah, they wouldn't rent to us unless we paid $100 cash deposit up front and paid for the room in cash up front for the entire time that we were going to stay there.
Why?
Because they were like, they had people like throw parties in the rooms and just completely trash the hotel rooms, and they're just like, nah, fuck
I
those
mean,
people.
it makes sense, but also I don't
man.
know.
I mean, it does make sense, but
Is
then
there
on
not
the other
an
hand,
insurance they have to cover incidents? I
oh,
don't know.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have insurance. I'm sure they have all of the things to cover these problems, but they just don't want to deal with it. So they would rather just, discriminate against their own local clientele. That because even my wife, she's in the hotel industry. The department she works for at the university is the hotel management department, where you learn about doing stuff like that in tourism.
Yeah.
But even she was saying that if you need a hotel room locally, it's better to have somebody that that's not living near you to reserve the room in their name, and then do a check-in for you, so you can get around those. To get around that, because apparently
Get
it's
around the dumb roll.
yeah. So apparently it's more more widespread than just here locally. But I was just like, it makes total sense when somebody explains it to you. But on the surface, be like, yeah, you can't, you can't rent a room locally. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Well, we're behind, so Jack, we got to play another ad real quick. Bear with us. We got to pay the bills, people. Sorry. We got big sponsors this week, and I will not be. I don't want to, be on the receiving end of that email. Hey, you didn't play our ads, so we're gonna fucking get these ads going. Hopefully-
Attention shoppers. Are you tired of going from store to store searching for the perfect item at the perfect price? Do you wish there was a one-stop shop where you could find everything you need, from groceries to gadgets, all in one place? Look no further than Scamazon, the world's largest online marketplace. With millions of products from thousands of sellers, Scamazon has everything you need, and at unbeatable prices too. Plus, with our fast and reliable shipping, you can have your items delivered right to your doorstep in no time. No need to stop listening to Pig's Pod. Scamazon, the one-stop Daddy Bezos shop for crop tops and mops to make you slip and drop. Shop Scamazon today. Use code PIGSPOD to let Daddy Bezos know you listen to the show. It won't save you any money, but he'll like it.
All right, thank you, Amazon, for the sponsor. Thank you, Daddy Bezos.
Side note, according to the DailyMail.com, Chris Hemmingsworth is said to be taking a huge step back from Hollywood film roles after discovering that he is genetically predisposed to Alzheimer's disease.
Don't you want to get the roles out of the way?
I feel like you should go ahead and get everything done now.
Yeah, get the roles and get the money in, and then lose your memory and lose everything.
You want to go ahead and secure all of that. Number one, you want to secure all the royalties.
Yeah.
And then number two, you have to contribute so much to the Screen Actors Guild union to be able to have the union pay your insurance and whatnot. And I feel like you're going to need insurance if you've got Alzheimer's. But have you seen the pictures of Bruce Willis?
Hemsworth. Yeah,
That's depressing.
rough.
It is
Yeah.
unbelievably depressing. Speaking
Yeah,
of depressing,
I don't think he's got that much.
I don't think he does
I
either.
don't know.
we
Sad.
during the D&D movie, during the previews, I saw
Yeah.
the trailer for the new Indiana Jones,
There's a
And
new one.
yeah, it's coming out pretty soon. And Harrison Ford is back, and I'm assuming it's supposed to be like this is it. This is the finale. But I got to thinking, this
Is Key in it? They need to do one with Key as.
I don't think he is.
I forget who pitched it. It was one of those Reddit ideas. Somebody pitched that if they're going to keep doing Indiana Jones, they need to put Key in as short round.
Yeah.
But now he's fucking Indiana Jones. He's doing the adventures and shit.
That would be really cool. But I made a comment to Heather that Harrison Ford is this same age as Sean Connery was back during the Last Crusade. Like the ages are now the same, and you don't think about it like that. And it's like it's a crazy thought to consider. But you treated Sean Connery in that film as grandpa. You know, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, he's too old and all this. And now you're going to put Harrison Ford at that age as the headliner for what's going to be action-packed, fighting Nazis, doing what Indiana Jones does.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
What do you mean the Dial of that? Literally, like if you read into that sounds like he's dying. It's the clock is ticking. It's the Dial of Destiny. So we're gonna get this movie out of here.
At least it's not as bad as the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where it turned out to be aliens or whatever the fuck it was. I have never tuned out a movie the way I tuned out.
I barely remember it.
Yeah.
I wrote it out of my memory.
I remember there being some ants, and that's it.
Fucking Jackie. Jackie's so fucking fired. That's annoying. All right. Anyways, we'll save some ads. If you want to listen to more of our sponsorship ads, you can go to pigspod.com. They are all on there. It randomly plays one. Well, it doesn't play. You have to click play, but it'll randomly load one every time you go to the homepage. So if you want to sit there and keep reloading, you can eventually listen to them all. We have a lot more that we haven't played, so we'll get to them. But what are we looking like? What's our time like?
Let's see. We've been going for an hour.
Oh, yeah, we're good. All right.
I say, do you want to do one of the interviews?
I guess we can. Let me find it here.
How long was your other one?
Like the snippet that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it is. I think it was only like 10 minutes or something. Where is it? I think it was 10 minutes. Something like that. So we could play that, or we could play,
It's your pick. I don't care.
Your mystery one.
Yeah, as I say, I've already gotten shit from Mystery that we've not done it yet.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that, Rob also called in to give us a comment.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, let me see if I can load that up. We'll play that while I get the... Should we play Mysteries or a little typo snippet?
Let's get Mysteries out of the way and see where we stand with time. Then we might do typos too and just get it all done now. And then hit Cream of the Weeks and call it a night.
No. All right, well, if I can find Rob's little comment. Where is it, Rob?
While you're searching for that, what happened to our click counter on the pigspod.com?
We still have it. It's just not show. It doesn't show. I get a weekly report how many people visit pigspod.com. While I'm looking for this, we might as well get another ad out of the way. So let's just do that.
Introducing the all-new Snackmaster 9000, the ultimate snack-making machine. With Snackmaster 9000, you can turn any ordinary food into a gourmet snack in seconds. Want to turn your boring potato chips into spicy jalapeno chips? Done. Want to turn your plain popcorn into sweet caramel corn? Yeah, I bet you do, Piggy Pig Boy. Why don't you oink your way on over to snackmaster.com and order one? Your fatty fat face looks like it could use another chin. So why settle for boring snacks when you can have Snackmaster 9000? Get yours today and snack like a boss. Use code PIGSPOD to get an extra tub of Tubby Lubby Fat Sauce. Stop being lonely just because you are unbearable to look at. Buy your ultimate snack-making partner today. The Snackmaster 9000.
Yeah, make sure you use code PIGSPOD to get your extra tub of Tubby Lubby fat sauce. I found the clip of Rob. Here, he just called. It's a real short clip. He just called in to say something.
I just love a big black dick, but only in my mouth. I'm already 60 and I'm already worried about anal leakage problems. I don't need that asshole stretched out any more than it is.
Oh,
All right, thank you, Rob.
thank you, Rob. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Rob. Hey, I forgot he was 60 already. God damn, Rob. Thank you for that.
I love it.
All right, well, we've got all our ads out of the way. So you want to play the mystery
Yeah, let's get it out of the
little
way.
clip?
Yeah,
We can
I had
pause it
fun.
if we need to.
Yeah, I had fun.
So those who don't know, Mystery is our one of our favorite Canadians. We can't say our favorite Canadian because we know a couple people from Canada, and you never know. The way America's going, we might need to move there, so we don't want to.
Well, Mystery has always been my emotional support Canadian, so
I'm a Canadian.
I'm a Canadian.
Good old Canadians.
Come a
So, Let's
chameleon.
listen to this. I haven't even heard this yet, so
It's good. I did a good job.
this will be the first time Mystery's ever on the show. I mean, if you don't count the other 4 times.
So here we are for our interview with the realest of all mysteries, Real Mystery. How are you?
Whoa, I didn't get a countdown. What? We're just starting straight off the bat?
Oh, hell yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll do that. Hi. Thanks for having me on.
No, you're welcome. So I said this when I was interviewing Rob, and I'll say it to you as well.
My audio's better, right? Yes? Okay,
Oh,
great.
yeah, miles better.
So,
Yeah,
so what we're getting out of this is Rob's probably going to be the worst audio. Mine's got to be mid-tier. And then you're going to have your third one, Justin. He's going to be like God-tier audio quality.
Yeah, probably is. I don't record audio as much as I used to. And now that I've got the opportunity to do some of this stuff here lately, I've been really enjoying getting back into it. But so much has changed since I started doing audio editing like 15 years ago.
Let alone not only the audio editing this side, but even just the podcasting side in general. Like setting up a podcast now is so much more different than it was before.
It's so dummy proof because do you remember how much effort we had to go through to do all of our recording before?
Just on separate multi-track or tracks itself. Oh man,
We had to have separate tracks. We had to have like
Right.
separate Skype accounts. So you can like, okay, this is
yeah.
going to record this is going to record that, and just
right, exactly.
God damn, it was just a mess.
I don't know if this was brought up during the interview with Rob, but like Rob and PGCR, I'm pretty sure they had it all just one call on Skype, right? And that's just the way it was, right?
Yep. That's what that was the first thing I asked him is how they recorded on PGCR,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, it was just whoever was doing the recording recorded everybody through Skype, and then his audio and everything got mixed down, and yeah, that was it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is simple, I guess, but then when you have somebody like you or me that's a little bit more into the audio, where we want to actually manipulate some of the audio levels to make it all equalized and all that kind of stuff, right? Like that's when it gets a little bit more complicated.
that was back then. The stuff that we had to go through. I remember I had to buy an external sound card so I could run my audio. I don't remember how I had it set up, but I remember running my audio board into my computer. But then I had to run the audio coming out of my computer from whatever source he was giving. Like if we were recording through Skype or whatever it was that we were using. Then I had to have that audio coming back out into that one, and then back into the video card or audio card to be able to record that as a separate input, because my board is USB, and I was recording the microphone input by running it back in. It was really weird. I had cables everywhere. So
yeah, you have like a little rat's nest of cables.
yeah, which I technically still do now, but that's just because I'm lazy.
I was gonna say, yeah, I also have my own little rat's nest of cables at this setup myself.
That's yeah.
It's kind of like in the corner in the corner of the room, just over there.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't want to talk about my corner. So as
cable management, just shove it in the corner. That's
exactly it. That's how we do it. It's that simple. So we are coming up on our 100th episode, and
wow.
I know
3 digits.
3 digits. I mean, technically, we should have probably already hit at least 100 by now, but we've, all of our hiatuses that we've taken over the years. But we finally made it, and for the first time in probably the history of Pigs Pod, we are deciding to actually somewhat plan for our episode. And yeah, we're actually taking our time, figuring out what we want to talk about, doing something we've never done before. We've spent more time preparing for this episode than we have the other 99 episodes combined. So, I mean, you've been on the show a few times. We don't have a list or a set track or anything like this. Is we might talk about this or we might not.
I didn't even get that last time. It was like, hey, Mister, you want to be on the episode? I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And then I come there, and then you guys are just talking, and I'm just jumping in.
Yeah, and that's how Pigs Pod rolls. We've always prided ourselves on not being that type of show where it's formatted and set and we do all these things. I mean, I guess the only thing that we kind of keep up with from week to week as a segment per se is like our cream of the week.
Right. There's also one more thing.
What's that?
That is definitely a constant, and it's actually something that you do that I've noticed during the Pigs Pod episodes.
Okay.
It's hey man, how you been? Every single episode, when you get this little at the beginning, it's in the first 5 minutes of the episode. Whenever it gets a little quiet, just a little quiet, right? Then you'll throw in the so hey man, how's it been? How you doing?
Really?
How's your week going? Yeah, I noticed that. That's a thing that you do.
I'm so triggered by that. I've never, I don't.
You've never noticed it?
No, I've never noticed it.
I thought you did it deliberately this entire time.
No, not.
No, I can definitely. Wait, I pause it for a second.
It bothered me
I can think
so
of it.
Much.
I don't know if you do it all the time. I can definitely think of 2 or 3 times you've done it.
Well, as the conversation continues, I explain why I do it, but it's not something that I do consciously. It's just kind of.
Yeah, you got to fill the space with something, though.
Yeah,
I feel like we've gotten a lot better. Man, we need to play some clips from our classic episodes, but I feel like we've gotten a lot better at filling the dead space with something.
Something.
I mean, we've done 100 episodes. How many hours did we figure that was? How many fucking hours of us are there out there?
At least 200.
Yeah, I mean, I guess depending how you look at it, that's not that much. But if you think of that in minutes, that's a lot. That's a lot of 200. Nah, not that much, but that's only 3 or 4 Marvel movies. But we have gotten a lot better at filling the space. I don't think it's you. When there's dead space, though, I feel like you've started episodes like that. We do our little intro and go, hey, all right, welcome to episode 72. I'm Mario, this is Q. And then you go, yep, I'm Q. How you been? And
I said, I'm so triggered. It's bothered me since that interview that I was just I think about that now. And it's something that I've never done consciously. And now I'm so exposed.
That's like when your English teacher says, well, you said a lot. And then from then on, you're every time you're all right, don't say
Yep.
Don't fucking say
When I had to take I took a public speaking when I was in college, and part of the public speaking when you gave your speeches, she sat in the back of the room and she had a little note card, and every time you said every time you said or and that did of course that didn't fit the context what you're talking about, she would deduct a half a point off your grade, so you could have basically 20 ums, or ands before you're down into the C range of your speech. So it's just something that's I've always thought about that, even though I still am really bad about saying and I just it's part of my speech now. I can't change that at nearly 40 years old.
Yeah.
But
if you don't say it 400 times, I don't think there's a problem with it. But
right.
Yeah. So I've heard you say it, but I don't think it's every other episode. He makes it sound like it's every 3rd episode or something. All right. How do we get fucking Jackie to? Oh no.
Oh no. Not at all. It's
Trigger.
always just been a conversation starter. It's the only reason why I've
Right.
done it.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
Now, well, see, that's the.
Yeah.
That, I mean, all right. I'll ask you a question. We'll tie it into my next question.
It flustered
Do you
me
go
so
back
much.
and listen to any of the audio from any of the episodes that you do outside of editing it? Do you ever go back and like listen to an episode?
Sometimes. I will do that sometimes when I feel like I might have said something that I might be uncomfortable with or something. You know, typically, maybe just to kind of like, maybe I probably should have worded this a little bit more differently, or like, go back and be like, maybe I probably should have, or maybe no, maybe this is actually fine itself. Like that kind of thing.
See, I don't. I don't at all. I don't go back and listen to any audio that I've ever put out, with the exception of if we put out an episode, like say when we put out this episode, I will probably go into like Spotify and listen to maybe 10 or 20 seconds of it just to see, does it sound good? That's it.
Right, just the audio, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there for the content of what we were discussing. It was just, did it sound good? Are the levels even? Which is really all I kind of go for. Is like, as long as we're even, I don't really care about anything else. So I never noticed that. I never noticed that I had a podcasting.
Does that make you
tick.
self-conscious? I'm sorry.
It does. It does. It really makes me unconscious now because I've never thought about that.
It's a good thing. It's actually a good thing because like you've told me several times you don't like dead air, right? Like
That's right.
Dead air is money. Right?
Exactly.
Money just kind of thrown out the window. So like I can see why you do it, and I thought you did. I thought you did it deliberately, but I guess
It may not. I mean, I guess it is probably a deliberate thing, but it's not because I purposely choose to do it. Like I'm consciously making that decision that I need to fill it. Yeah, I've always been. You and I are real similar in that we're constantly thinking about, is this quality content? And
I suppose, yeah.
yeah. Well, and you have done that really, really well over the last at least 5 years, where you're really like diving into your brand and what you're wanting to do with the content that you're putting out. You have excellent content, and you have some of the best community people.
Aw, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying that to kind of blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. It's just it's just something I've noticed. Like you have some of the most dedicated and loyal followers. It's just, I know that if you're streaming or you're putting something out there, I can go into your channel and it's always the same group of individuals. They're always there. And
Right. Yep.
that is where I don't, of course, I don't do much streaming as much as I should. When we stream on, on PixPod, we do have a number of people that are very loyal and they follow us. And that makes me really happy that we're growing to that point. But it's just something I've always really, I don't want to say envy, because that's not, I've always kind of, you've inspired me to achieve that level of quality content, because everything you put out is good. Everything you put out is really funny and really enjoyable, and it shows through with your community.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I like I said, I think it's awesome what you've done and what you can do, and everything in your community. And I hope that your community blows up. It blows up at least as much as ours blows up, if ours ever blows up.
Yeah, the community that I have slowly started to develop has been like, it's been really cool. It's been a great group of friends, just just having fun. That's probably the best way to say it. I think Rabble stops by my stream quite often, and he'll like heckle me for a bit just for fun, and like and he'll be there. He'll be there all the time for sure. Him, his wife, and like we also have like Spark and like Spark's wife, and like just all sorts of people are just coming around and like saying hi and messing around with me in a great way, right? And I think Rabble has spilled over to your guys' podcast as well. He's always usually there on a Sunday night.
Rabble is a staple for mine and your content creation.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciate that. And I wish that I could put myself in a position to do some content creation with him. I know that
It's true.
he ends up working when we're in a, when we're creating content. So
Right.
he's there, he's able to listen while he's at work, but of course, he can't he's not able to participate much more than conversationally in the chat.
And still pretty active while he's working at the same time.
Yeah, I wonder what he
Which is
does
crazy.
for a living. Says I'm really beginning to wonder: does he work or is he just at work? Because there's a big
He
difference.
works. He works. He works. He works. He definitely works. Don't. If any employer of Rabble is listening, man,
Oh yeah. This is a hashtag sponsored content for the Rabble Just Rabble individual. He is an excellent worker. His output of quality content and productivity is bar none above the bar of any other person that you would ever have a part of your organization. Hashtag
perfect. I'm glad you got the script. I was a little concerned that didn't go over the mail properly.
So, since we're now way into this interview and I've not asked you any questions,
That sounds like a typical conversation between you and I.
yeah,
though.
and that's the final edit will show that. If you could sum up our first 100 episodes of Pigs Pod in a sentence, 2 sentences, really honestly whatever you need, how would you describe our first 100 episodes?
How would I describe your first 100 episodes of Pigs Pod in 2 sentences? 2 strangers getting together, talking about anything and everything that they'd want to, and breaking all the rules, probably.
I like that. Breaking all the rules.
You break all the rules. You're the Politically Incorrect Gamers podcast, right?
That's true. You make a good
and
point.
so by in theory, you would think that you'd be talking about, games, maybe politically incorrect,
Okay.
And you spend a lot of time talking about, like a lot of life stuff. You'll talk about stocks and money, finances, and all that kind of stuff at the same time. And I think that's what makes you guys you, right? Because like when you guys do talk about your topics, you guys are all into it. You're full up into it.
That's something that I've prided ourselves on, is that we really try to show passion about whatever it is that our content is going to be about, because
right.
And I think I've said this to you, and I've said this to other people about what I do with this. I want to create content that I would want to listen to if I wasn't the one creating it. That's what I ascribe to, and I hold podcasts or radio shows or anything like this to a very high standard as an audience member. I feel like if I'm my own audience, I'm going to be way more critical of what I'm doing than the average person. So it's kind of like that endless vicious cycle of never going to be good enough for myself, because I'm going to hold myself to a high standard, so I'm going to perform to a high standard, which means I still need to make sure I need to be at another standard now because I'm getting better at it, so my standards go up. And it's this constant ladder of trying to be good at what I do for the sake of my own self, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's kind of one of the things that I've really wanted to grow doing podcasting, is constantly put myself in a position where I want people to enjoy what I put out there.
The one thing I wanted to talk about, one of the few things I actually, because like we did talk about like the history of like podcasting and how it's changed over the years and so on and so forth. We never mentioned one particular podcast that you were part of that was also part of that was also with one of my friends as well, if you recall.
Maybe you're talking Little Light.
Little Light, yeah.
Little Light.
I feel like Little Light podcast is probably one of my biggest like regrets letting go.
Yeah, I wasn't in the best position during that time to be able to put out the content that I wanted to put out with Little Light.
Right, but also like I also didn't exactly have that big of a hand in it either, because maybe I just didn't have a full understanding of podcasting and like how it should have been done. Because I was on the side in that one, right? Remember? Because I was just recording the conversation, editing it up, and posting it up.
Yeah. You were our Craig that we have now.
Yeah, I was the Craig. Yeah,
you do a much better job than Craig does, because Craig is rather forgetful to start recording. So that's something that I never had to worry about with you.
But I wish I actually did take that time and actually conversed with you and Vamps in those situations, because like I feel like, in regards to like Destiny, like I feel like as a person that wasn't as into Destiny as you and Vamps were, I could have been like, when it comes to content creation, you know how you have that one person that's like, this is the audience, this is the representation of the audience, right? Like he doesn't understand, and so you are explaining to him. Therefore, the audience is going to understand. I could have been that person, and like from there, all three of us could have actually genuinely had a conversation that kept the Destiny podcast going, Little Light podcast going at least.
I wish we would have thought about that then.
Right, I know, and see, and that's like that is a thought that I had like I think it was like a couple years after the Let's Talk Halo podcast had fallen through for me. Right, I was like, man, I wish like let's say in theory Vamps decided to still back out anyways, and like maybe like you decided to kind of stick through it. Right, at least there could have still been you and me working on the podcast.
Yes, I think that would have been the only thing that I've said about me and you is we need to find a genre of something, and that needs to be our podcast. We've talked about it for years. We've talked about it on Pigs Pod. We've talked about it on Little Light. We've talked about it on every time you and I have done some type of content together, either before, during, or after that content. You and I have said we need to do something together. We need to collaborate and create something. We have some ideas in the works that are coming. Eventually. I think it would be. I think once your schedule becomes less crazy, whenever that happens to be, I think that's when we should maybe start considering doing something. Maybe not even on a weekly basis. Maybe just putting something out maybe monthly.
Right. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, even if it's monthly, I think that would be ideal as well. You got a whole month to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
One month is a long time.
It is. All right. Well, my next question, since we've now gone longer than the Rob interview.
Have we really?
Yeah, we just hit the length of audio that I pulled out of the Rob interview.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, it was an hour. It was an hour and 2 minutes. I edited it down to about 30 minutes. So I'm going to have to do the same thing with this one.
So much of this stuff is going to be cut.
Well, it is, but we are going to release the audio in its entirety on the website.
Oh, okay. Here's the uncensored. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, it's the unedited. It's the the full conversation. That's something that I got that idea from our public radio. When they would do an interview with someone and be like, oh, for the full interview, you go to our website.
Here's the uncut version. Go to our website here.
Yeah, and it's a way to get them to go to our website. My next question is for our next 100 episodes, from 101 to 200. What advice would you give Oreo and myself to not only achieve 200, but to make the next 200 as transformative as the first 100?
Advice that I would give you?
Yes.
I feel like at this point you guys have now hit your stride. Earlier on there was you guys had a lot of like, I guess, like interrupting each other and like that flow was kind of cut. I think right now you guys are both on the like quite literally on the same page and still willing to kind of just go with the flow. And so like continuing that is going to be great. So I guess just keep doing what you're doing right now. Just make sure that what you're talking about is stuff that like you guys are genuinely passionate about, or you guys want to talk about it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I could probably say. If you guys want to move away from Halo Infinite or Halo in general, you guys certainly can. You don't have to keep going back to it.
Well, that's because Halo was such a formative part of my maturing into an adult gamer. Halo 1 came out when I was 17. So I had already grown up through multiple iterations of gaming, through the NES, through the Super NES, Sega, PlayStation. I had already gone through all these different generations of gaming. When I got to Halo, I experienced Halo as a young adult. It meant a lot.
Insert the Dark Knight Rises meme here.
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't experience.
Yeah.
Was it light?
Yeah, I was born into it.
Yeah.
I didn't experience BXR till I was already a man. Which is actually true. That's
because you were in college at the time, right?
Yeah,
if I recall. Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved I loved Halo 2 during that. I mean, I loved Halo in general during that time. We had friends come over and we'd all play together.
I miss that so much.
Yeah,
man.
and even if we only had one console and one television, and there was 4 controllers and there was 10 of us there, it would devolve into 4 people sitting on the couch. And the way my living room was set up is the living room, the dining room were basically one room. The couch faced a wall where the TV was, but the couch was kind of in the middle of the room. People could bring their chairs and sit behind the couch. So you had this like stands of audience behind you watching you game. It was so much fun because if you died a horrific death to your own stupidity, everyone in the room knew you did. And that was so much fun. There was a lot of chastising and jabbing and just general play. That type of gaming just doesn't exist anymore. I think that is one reason why Oreo and I stay hooked on Halo the way we have, is that it was so a part of our coming of age. Of course it's nostalgia, but it's also just it was a part of us fermenting and finalizing our personalities as gamers. We want to see Halo be great.
Yeah, you want to see it succeed for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, same as me.
And
Halo's been a huge part of my life as well.
It's tough. I want so much more for Halo. I don't think we're going to ever get what we had before. And I think gaming in general has moved away from what Halo was. And Halo, I think I said this in one of our other episodes. Halo was the trendsetter. Every game,
it was, yeah.
Every gamer or every game studio, every developer looked at what Bungie was doing and it was like, we need to be doing at least that. And then 343 took over. 343, they didn't have the vision to be the trendsetters. They became the everybody elsers. We're just going to do what everybody else is doing because it appears that what they're doing is working. Whereas Bungie would take risks. They weren't afraid to fail. They weren't afraid to try something new. And even if they did fail at something, it didn't matter because they were still trying to innovate gaming. And that was something that 343 never did. At least I'm holding on to as a Halo fan is what it used to be. And I'm having it's kind of like, I'd always joked with friends growing up that the first person that you're intimate with in a relationship will always have a special meaning and a special place for you. And sometimes it's really hard to not get away from that person mentally, that you're always coming back to that person. You're always stuck on that person because they gave you an experience that you had never experienced before, and you're always chasing that experience. That's kind of what Halo is. It's like I kind of lost my gaming virginity to Halo. I wasn't a real gamer until Halo. I was somebody that played video games, but I wasn't.
You were a filthy casual.
Yeah. Well, no. Oh, yeah. I will forever
Halo
and always.
Made you as sweaty.
Yeah, I will forever and always be the sweatiest casual out there. But I think that's what it is. I'll always keep wanting to come back to Halo because I'm always chasing what Halo gave to me. And not just the gaming, but the community. Even in the waning days of Bungie and making that transition to to Halo 4, that's where I was at. Making that transition from Bungie to 343, I met a lot of friends during that time period. So many people hated on Halo Reach and like, that wasn't Halo and they did this and it wasn't right. I hold Halo Reach in a very special place because that's where I met a lot of my friends, that were not in person. And then when Halo 4 came out, and that's when I met the people from PGCR, that's when I met you, that's when I met Drunken Halo. That's when I really joined a gaming community. Despite how bad and how much people didn't like Halo 4, I will forever and always love Halo 4 because of what it meant to me in my friendships. So it's hard. It's hard to let go of Halo.
We still kept up with Friday night, Saturday night Halo game nights and all that stuff on a regular basis.
And then Halo 5 came out, and I was so depressed that I never wanted to play it again.
Yeah, Halo 5. I think Halo 5 killed it for you for sure.
It did. I hated it. I could not wrap my mind around all of the new Spartan abilities.
Right. Yeah, it changed so much from that point.
Yeah, the movement changed. I think that's one of the reasons why I liked Halo so much is that really at its core, Halo movement's really not much. You don't
right.
You
that
don't
is
really
a key thing. For sure.
Your movement is incredibly limited. So then the only way that you can succeed as a player is you have to get better with the weapons that you're using. You have to get more consistent in hitting your shots. You got to understand what weapons need for what situations, and that was what made Halo good. Is you had to focus on that. when Halo
Right.
when Halo 5 came, and I think that's one of the reasons why people didn't like Reach too, because the jetpack changed everything. When Halo 5 came out, you didn't even need the jetpack to make these, to get to these places, because you had clamber and you had all these other abilities, so you could move better across the map. And I never was able to master it. And I just got so frustrated and left. And then Halo Infinite. Well, I think also the Master Chief Collection really did me in too, because I had so many issues with it and it was so buggy.
Oh man, I hate that what happened with you for Master Chief Collection happened
Yeah,
the way it did. Because like, man, I enjoy classic Halo. I really do. Like, one of the biggest things for me, my birthday party, like, I don't want anything else except for my friends coming over and playing Halo 3. Because like, and I say
get
Halo
that.
3 specifically because just if I was to give one of my friends a controller right now to play Halo 5 or Halo Infinite, I would have to explain to them how to like sprint, how to sprint and do the Spartan charge, how to do the grappling hook thing, and all that kind of stuff. And they're just gonna get confused over all the controls. Whereas if I give them a controller for Halo 3, I'll be like, well, that's your button to shoot, that's your button to aim, that's your button to throw grenades. Sprinting, no such thing,
Yeah. Yeah, you have
Right?
you have jump, aim, shoot, throw grenades.
And then you
Done.
can use your equipment by pressing this button. That's
Yeah.
it. Right?
never
It's a
used the
one-time use thing. You pick it up and you use it. That's it. And it wasn't even movement related. You only had the one thing that might have affected movement, and that was your grav lift. Beyond that, everything else, it was just like something in your back pocket that you could just kind of throw out there, stun a vehicle, blow up a vehicle, put up something to shield you,
Right.
and that's about it.
Ah, the good old days. I guess my final question for you, because I want to bring this to a close. My final question for you is, what direction do you want to see Pigs Pod go in the future? Where do you want to see us focus on more or less?
I have no specifics
Okay.
at all, mostly because I want Pigs Pod to be what I want you guys want it to be.
I like that.
That's essentially it, right?
I like
I'm not there. I'm there for you guys, but I'm not as much as I'm there for the podcast.
That's
I
true.
like listening to your guys' conversation, and as long as you guys are liking what you're talking about, it's very apparent. As long as you guys are enjoying yourselves, that's also very apparent, and that's the thing that keeps me wanting to listen.
I like that. That type of statement means a lot. I really appreciate that. I do. Okay.
I'm glad I was able to give you one heartwarming answer,
Well, no, yeah,
considering you threw this at me so quickly.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. I've really enjoyed doing these interviews. It really makes me feel like I've kind of accomplished something with doing Pigs Pod. As much as we joke about it and make fun of stuff, and on the surface it doesn't seem like we take things seriously, we really do take a lot of things very seriously with the podcast itself. It means a lot when I can meet people from the community or talk to people from the community and they say that, you can tell that you're really into what you're doing. And we're not making people fall asleep. So that's nice. That's what I scribe for.
No, I'm usually listening to your podcast while I'm doing the boil out or cleaning the ice cream machine or, cleaning walls or something, the theater. So.
I'm great. I'm very grateful that we are able to break the monotony for you. I feel like that's
Honestly, you do. So next time you're on the podcast or something, just be like, "Oh, Mystery, how's that boil out going?"
You cleaning that ice cream maker there, Mr. Mystery?
Because okay, the boil out process for me is like a 3-hour process. So and I have to do this before we even open doors at the theater. So if the theater opens at 11, I have to be there at 8 or 9,
Right.
just to get this done. So I'm kind of alone and I'm kind of listening. It allows me to kind of listen while I'm doing the boil out. And then the ice cream machine cleaning out is another 2 more hours on top of that. So I'm basically spending 5 hours kind of doing things by myself.
I got you. All right. Well, any final thoughts that you have before we end the interview?
Thoughts that I have. Well, first of all, I appreciate you putting me on such a high pedestal, I guess, kind of thing.
You deserve it.
Even though I don't feel like I should be,
You
but
deserve it. You do.
it still feels weird that somebody would,
We try.
But I also appreciate you having me on the podcast. Appreciate you having taken the time and interviewing me and being around with the community and all that such. But you have to realize that you are also another reason why I am where I am today too. That is a huge, you've heard all my problems, right? You have. And you've been there just as much as I've been there for you.
Yeah.
Right. So as you are, as I may be an inspiration to you, you are also an inspiration to me.
Aw.
Right. Because those stories that you've had to tell me about, like you having to deal with the kids, like the kids that were not are yours but are effectively technically yours. Even something as small, even doing something as small as just sending me that, what was it called? What was it that you guys called it? It was like a graduation thing from one of the twins.
They were. Yeah, it was the graduation announcements that they were.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were graduating. Yeah.
So whenever we get like a card or something, it goes up on top of our fireplace area. And so like family will come in and they'll see. And a lot of people came up to me and they're just like, "Yo, who's this? Like where do they come from? Like why are they up here?" kind of thing.
They're
And
just
I'll
random
explain
kids.
to them like, "Well, yeah, this is like, not exactly like a daughter, but it is a daughter of one of my friends that I met online. He took them in kind of thing, even though like didn't have to." And all that kind of stuff, and then like they'll sit there and they're like, you know what, that's actually really good of him. You have some really good friends, obviously things like that is kind of like what helps me kind of like move forward. I know that I'm kind of on the right track here, at least I think I am on the right track.
Right. No, I totally get it.
But just keep being you, keep doing it. This is it's fun to listen to, and it's fun to be part of.
All right. Well, thank you as always for being a part of it. And I really look forward to interviewing you again for our episode 200.
I have to wait for 100 more episodes.
100
Okay.
more episodes. You got to wait
All right,
another.
see you in 10 years.
Yeah, another 10 years, and we'll do this again. All right. Thank you, Mystery.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
It was a lot of fun.
Good old Mystery.
I like doing content and whatnot with Mystery. He's so much fun. And Mystery, be sure you're cleaning the boiler things and
I hope the boiler cleaner
Yeah.
is going well, and somebody's got to clean the ice cream machine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least your ice cream machine's working.
Yeah, unlike some bigger. We're not sponsored by McDonald's yet. I'll have to reach out to them. Speaking of sponsorships, we do have one more ad we have to play. Is a pretty big sponsor. They're probably bigger than McDonald's actually. Hold on, we gotta get Jackie in here. This will be our last sponsorship clip of the episode, but yeah, shout out to Mystery. We'll talk about him more after we play this ad real quick.
Looking for great deals on everything you need? Look no further than Walmart. Your one-stop shop for everything under the sun. From groceries to electronics, clothing to home decor, we even have guns and armor vests 50% off for back-to-school sales event. So why settle for anything that's not truly American? Shop at Walmart today and experience the American dream for yourself. Remember to use code PIGSPOT at checkout to let your virtual shopper know you won't settle for anything less than the best. Walmart. Fuck the little people.
Right. Thank you, Walmart. Appreciate it.
The guns and back to school thing is rough.
The American dream.
I guess I'll tell you this, and because you have kids and they're school age.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking. I hate talking about this. We haven't done any politics this episode, so we're gonna do a little splash of politics.
We gotta be politically incorrect. So
Heather and I are gonna buy Isabel one of the bulletproof backpacks.
Yeah, it's so stupid that we have to have that.
I just
it's crazy. Where's the meme? I shared a meme on Twitter. Let me look at it just real quick.
Well,
making fun of America, where all countries have mental illness, all countries have religious conflicts, racial conflicts, social and government conflicts. All countries have violent video games, but only America has a gun fetish and daily mass shootings.
yeah.
Gosh, if only we could pinpoint what the cause of the mass shootings might be. Like
when the shooting happened in Nashville last week, those kids were Izzy's age, and that kind of triggered it, especially with Heather. And we're like, this is probably something that we should do. Now, granted, we live in a really conservative, semi-rural, not suburban area.
yeah.
The chances of that being a thing here are, in theory, not that high. We're not a major metropolitan. We're not a Parkland. We're not a Columbine.
Yeah.
Or
I don't want to take away from what you're saying, but do you know literally an hour, like the same day that it happened, uh, literally about 2 miles from my house, there was an active shooter at one of the high schools, and they had to lock down all the schools in the whole area, including my son's school. My son was at school, and so they sent us a message, the school's on lockdown. It's like, just love living in America where this is what we have to go through.
I say that it's low chance of happening here, and that's not entirely accurate, I guess. I mean, unless maybe we'll consider maybe lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. The Virginia Tech shooting in 2006 was literally
right there.
It was right there. I was on campus that day. I was there visiting. I was there intending to visit a girl I was dating at the time. We were going to have lunch together. So hopefully that won't happen again. But yeah, when this one happened, this one was a little bit different. I mean, now granted, when Sandy Hook happened, that's when the twins were Sandy Hook age at that time. So I remember that when it happened, the kids came home from school that day, and of course they had already heard that something had happened, and we sat and had a conversation about what happened, why it may have happened, because we didn't know what happened at that time, like the reasons. I mean, we still don't 100% fully know everything, but we tried to help them understand what the situation was and how they could process it. And even to this day, I don't know how this new generation, the twins generation down to our kids' generation, how they're going to. It's so weird that this is something that they deal with, and it's so commonplace. I followed a guy on TikTok, and he's a teacher, and he does a lot of funny math stuff with his kids, and the kids obviously love him. He seems to be a really awesome teacher. And he brought in this bucket. They had a bucket that they keep in the classroom, and it's this yellow 5-gallon bucket. And he goes, I want to talk about the things that are in this bucket. And I didn't even know this existed. But he held up this bucket, and he reached in, and he started pulling out all these things. This was their active shooter supplies.
Oh, yeah.
And first off, the bucket was a shit bucket. It had a toilet seat built into the top. So if you're going to be stuck in a room for 6 hours, you've got a place to go to the bathroom. But one of the things that really startled me is he pulled out these. They look like the keep warm blankets. They almost look like the space age aluminum foil type blanket. And he's like, "Do you know what these are for?" And they're like, "Oh, in case we're cold." And he goes, "No." He goes, "This is for me to cover up the body so the rest of you don't see them." And I was like, holy fuck. Like,
who was this teacher?
Yeah, I'll send you the TikTok because I saved it. I'll send it to you. I bet you.
Depending where you're at on the spectrum, to me, he sounds like a cool teacher.
Right.
He sounds like a good guy. He's telling you the reality and how fucking upsetting that we have to be in this reality. But he's not sugarcoating it and playing it down.
No.
He's telling you the hard truths.
He was very candid about what he said or about what it is. But what I loved about it was at the end, he said that if you don't like this situation, if you think this is shitty, you have to vote to change it. It's up to you as an individual of your generation to make those changes. And I can't wait. I am so excited for the next 10
I'm so excited for them to die out. Because
well,
the problem isn't even voting. The problem isn't even the voting. It's so controlled.
Right.
They've controlled the environment so much. The guns wouldn't even be a problem. You could vote right now, and the gun problem would be far outvoted. To just completely get rid of them, and it still wouldn't happen.
That's why I'm saying I can't wait for the next 10 years of politics. Because, number one, the boomers are dying, which is awesome.
Yes.
But number two, the school shooting generation is is coming into politics. They're just starting to graduate high school, and they're old enough to become a part of politics. As a matter of fact, there's a gentleman, I don't know what district he represents, but he's the first Gen C kid that is in the House of Representatives now. So it's like they're starting to file in. Like, our generation's there. Our generation makes up about half of what is there in politics in DC, between, especially in the House side. And we're pushing. The boomers are moving out. The Gen Xers are kind of falling in line and moving into their position, which they're not much of that an issue as this battle between the millennials and the boomers.
Yeah.
But I can't wait. We've spent the last 15 years, our generation, fighting these battles and getting absolutely nowhere. But I feel like we're the Hodor of politics. We've been holding the door. We've been holding the door for the Generation Z to come in, and they're going to change
something.
They're going to change everything.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Well, every step forward that we had, literally we went 3 steps back because the boomers were so upset that we tried to change their world and take away their great America, that they went the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that gets me is that generation is so against teaching the history of that era because they don't want their grandkids to realize how shitty people they were. You know, it was we don't want to talk about what happened in the 1940s and 1950s. Well, why
It's
not?
not even that long ago.
Yeah. Well, why not? Well, because we were the ones that were the problem. We were the ones that were wearing white sheets and burning crosses and
We were the
hosing
one that
down people trying to drink at a water fountain. And
we were the ones that invented most of the racial slurs that you know.
Yeah. So I'm just excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be nice. At least it'll be good for our kids. We're in a weird spot right now where we have to literally carry them into this next generation. Where I think it'll get good again, but for a little bit it's gonna suck. It's too bad that while they're so little and so young, they have to go through this worst possible part where
it kills me.
You can't even go to school safe. It's
right.
fucking-
I think what really shifted things in my perspective has always been ban the guns. I'm a gun owner, ban them, I don't care. But what really did me for the Nashville shooting was one of the 9-year-old girls that was shot. She was shot going to pull the fire alarm because they're trained to do that. In the event of an active shooter, pull the fire drill. Warn people.
So she was going to do that.
She was going to pull the fire alarm and she was shot.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm done. I'm not dealing with this shit anymore.
Yeah.
So
no, I have seriously considered moving to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as easy as it sounds, though. It's really hard.
Yeah, because Heather asked me. She's like, "How hard would it be for us to move to Canada?" I'm like,
Canada'd probably be the easiest.
In theory, not that difficult. Because all you're doing is just packing up and moving across the border. A lot of the laws are interchangeable. A lot of the rules are interchangeable. The cultures.
Well, they're fairly understandable why you want to go there, so they will help with the transition.
Right. But I just don't know what to do anymore. I mean, especially where I live, and I know where you live is just as bad. And
well, like I said, literally that same day, we had one. Luckily, from what I understand, no casualties, but
still, yeah. Well, there
Still.
was the other one that happened a couple of months ago, where the kindergartner brought a gun to school and shot his teacher. That was here in Virginia. It was on the other side of the state. It was near the beach.
Yeah.
But still,
I don't get how you just value a gun more than children's lives in the future. It's crazy.
Once again, it falls into that I've got mine. That's the boomer.
Yeah.
That's the boomer's way of thinking. I've got mine.
Even the proposed, not even fully banning, just register, and you have to get a license, and yes, you have to go through a little bit of paperwork. And they go, no, I watched this really funny comedian. It's the joke, the stand-up's actually from like 3 or 4 years ago, which is crazy. We still have the same fucking issues. But he was joking how you people are so against even registering your gun. You're like, they're taking our guns, and he's all, we're only registering it. What are you down at the DMV going, they're taking our cars?
Yeah. Well, no, it's absolutely true, and that's part of the Q-stick solution to gun problems in this country is to treat firearms like cars. You have to
register it. You have to register it. They have your serial number. They know who has it and why you have it.
That you have to register it. You have to take a class that shows that you're capable or competent to use it. I'm not talking you gotta, hit a target at 700 yards, but you should be able to understand how to draw your weapon, discharge your weapon, empty the chamber, take it apart, clean it, put it back together, and safely store it. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
I wouldn't have in mind if every 2 years you had to take it in to get it inspected.
Yeah, but
you get your car inspected every fucking year.
Yeah,
you tell me every 2 years you couldn't do that with your gun.
And then lastly, what I think would be the change that would fix all of our problems in this country. If we're going to continue to keep guns, the one change that I would like to see that would fix everything is you have to carry insurance. Because because this country is so insurance driven. When it comes to your health care, doctors don't make decisions on your health care. Insurance companies do. Same thing with your cars. It doesn't. The insurance companies are the ones that are lobbying for seatbelt safety and car safety. It's not.
It immediately shut down the gun problem because the insurance companies then have an interest to. Yeah. They have to stop it.
Right, and that's where I'm going with it. Is like if you got the insurance companies involved and had them say, okay, yeah, you have to carry insurance on it, and whenever there is a school shooting, it's up to the insurances to pay for everything that needs to be to fix it, and not just paying the families and paying for funerals and stuff like that, but even as far as replacing parts of the school that was damaged, replacing the glass windows, fixing the doors, doing all of these things to bring it back to where it was. Or in the case of Virginia Tech, they completely renovated the main building where the shooting happened. Like they gutted it, tore out all the classrooms, completely changed the layout, redid everything, and there was the where it started was in one of the dorms, and the guy came into the dorm room. The girl opened the door. He shot her and shot the guy that she was with. They blocked that door up. They put in cinder blocks, and that room is now completely closed off.
One?
No, this was in Virginia Tech. This was in 2006. But
did you see in the latest one that how their whole thing is, I'll arm the teachers. They were armed. The doors were locked. They were armed. All the safety precautions were in place. Still didn't make it. And the police got there within minutes.
Yeah,
unlike other issues.
Yeah, the police went in. The police they ended it as quickly as possible. But even if your response time
that's still six
minutes,
3 kids and 3 adults.
Yeah, they were there in like 6 minutes.
Because you need your gun. It's my freedom.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, the arming the teachers thing makes me so angry. Because right now we're living in a country that is going out of its way to regulate what our teachers are teaching the students. Well, we can't teach critical race theory. That's cool. Nobody teaches it anyway. That's a class at Harvard. That's it.
It's also funny that they say arm the teachers.
Yeah.
So you trust the teacher with a gun, but you don't trust the teacher to pick a curriculum.
Yeah.
You're banning all these books and different things that they can and can't teach. You don't trust them to teach your kid, but you trust them with a gun to be able to protect your kid.
Yeah. And then on the next part is who's going to pay
police
for it?
Police that are fully trained to handle stressful situations every day make fucking mistakes in that stressful situation and shoot the wrong person. And you're expecting a teacher to just be able to handle that stressful situation.
Yeah.
And also, that'll never happen because then there's so much liability.
Oh, my God. Once again, that's the insurances. Do you really think a school district's insurance company is going to allow the teachers to have guns in the school? Are you fucking stupid? They put up a fight to put school resource officers because, once again, you have a gun in the class or gun in the school. But my thing is who's going to pay for it? Like we can't even get our government to buy our kids books, and you're wanting them to arm minimum of $500. If you're going to buy them a pistol, You're going to spend $400 or
and
$500 in ammo.
and then where do you put it in a fingerprint one of those cases in the teacher's desk?
Yeah, or have it strapped on their side the whole time.
Yeah,
I mean,
for students to just grab at it.
Yeah. Are you gonna see Miss Mitchell? That's the fresh out of college for her first teaching assignment, and she's in her kindergarten classroom teaching about the A B C D, and she's got a fucking Glock 40 on her hip. Like she can't wear her sundress because it doesn't work with the pistol belt that she's wearing. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, unless she has it out in the open, she can say, "Hey, everybody, quiet down," and she points to it.
Yeah, it's just
the stupidest thing.
It just makes me angry. I'm so fucking annoyed. So annoyed.
Or we could compromise, even though this is also stupid, but we could compromise and let's just say, I don't know, maybe you don't need a military weapon that can lay down 60 bullets in a matter of 20 seconds. Yeah. Maybe civilians should only be allowed to own single-shot guns, which a pistol could, let's say you have a magazine that can hold 10, everything else 5. Rifles, shotguns, maximum of 5, everything single-shot. Yes, there's still going to be a problem and there's still going to be killings, but you're not going to get somebody that can just go in, fully strapped with hundreds of rounds that can just lay it down in a matter of 2 minutes before the police could even get there.
I think that's the scariest part, is that they have the capability to have these guns. It's the same problem. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this or not, but back in the mid to late 90s, there was the West Hollywood shootout. It was the bank robbers, and they robbed
a bank. That movie that just came out is about?
I don't know if... did you ever see the movie SWAT with Samuel L. Jackson and Colin Farrell? Came out in like the 2005, 2006. Had Michelle Rodriguez in it. The opening scene of them is the reenactment of the West Hollywood shootout. These 4 guys robbed a bank, and they had full body armor from neck to feet, full body armor, and AK-47s. And they robbed this bank, and their plan was just to shoot their way out. And at the time, the police department, all they carried was their service weapon, their pistols. They didn't even have shotguns in their cars, let alone the M4s or the ARs that they carry now. So this shootout went on across the town of West Hollywood for well over 2 hours, and it was. It's a Google it thing. And the video footage is still there. I mean, the news video footage is still out there, and the cops were. You could see the rounds bouncing off the shooter's armor. Like, you could see the pistol rounds just bouncing off, the 9mm rounds, the 45 rounds just bouncing off, not doing anything. They finally
that's the problem you get into. Now our guns aren't powerful enough. We gotta get more powerful guns. Well, then more powerful guns are and then that guy's got a fucking machine gun, SKS, to this to that. Now we need even more. Now we need a helicopter with a fucking mounted machine gun for the police, and then we're a military zone.
Well, and that's one of the other things that really pissed me off about 9/11 and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan is when they ramped up all of this military spending, and all of these different companies and agencies were able to develop all of these huge weapons of war, and then if for some reason they didn't get sent overseas, they just sat stockpiled here in the U.S. So what did they do? They gave them to the local police departments, and now you've got police departments rolling around. They used to be. There was one of the big armored personnel carriers that was like, the Iraqi Sand Brown, and they had just in my little town. Like, what are you doing with this? I'm like, oh, they gave it to us. What?
Yeah, why?
Like, what?
But it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't I'm with you on this. I don't understand how the love of an object outweighs the life of a child. My second grader is not as important as the Second Amendment, and that's
the ones that are so pro-life. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, the ones that are absolutely pro-life. Remember, they're pro-life until they come out. Then fuck you. That's how it works.
Yeah, then fuck you. Get shot at school. But anyways, we might go to Canada. Shout out to Real Mystery though.
Or the or the joke that's the guy. Have you seen that the numbers of the military recruitment is through the floor? Like, no one is signing up to go into the military now. Once again, the Gen Z kids are like, fuck that. And the logic is,
They've already lived through it in
yeah,
school. They
well,
don't
why
wanna
would they
go.
why would they want to go overseas and get shot when they can do that in the comfort of their own classrooms?
Yeah.
And we think that's a joke, and I was like, well, it's kind of not, because these
Bless America.
yeah. All right, so let's
Make
get back
sure
to
you go to
something.
Walmart and get your stuff.
Let's
for-
go back to something funny. Let's do cream of the week and call it a night.
Yeah. All right. I had stuff I wanted to talk about, but we'll have to get to
Well,
it.
well,
We're already past it. What happened? I can't remember. Something happened last week that I was so excited to talk about, and now I can't remember.
well, E3's
I
been
really should
canceled.
write stuff down. Yeah, E3 got canceled. I knew it was coming for a long time because
Yeah.
I kept hearing, oh, now they can't. Oh, now they canceled. It's just a matter of time until
Well,
they announced it. For
once
sure.
once again, E3 is a victim of COVID, because E3 is another one of those events, or I guess event is the best way to put it, that you don't have to do in person. They don't have to they don't have to roll Phil Spencer out on the stage to release this stuff. They can do it all online. And
Yeah.
once that happened, Microsoft and Sony and all these are like, well, why do it online for them? We can just do it online for ourselves. And that's literally what they're doing. They're like, well, fuck it, we'll just do it ourselves. So there's no need to do E3 anymore.
Yeah. Well, and they E3 got a little too they started restricting and making all these rules and like all this shit, and they started charging so much for vendors and shit to be there, and it's like
Yeah.
they
Well,
completely forgot why they existed in the first place.
it was originally it was just the media. It was just the journalists and medias and reporters that were doing E3 in the beginning, and then once it grew out of that and it became this larger entity, especially probably I think the biggest E3 that I remember watching, the first big E3 that I remember watching, was for Halo 4. So that would have been 2011 ish. I remember watching that, and just it was huge celebrations and all. It wasn't just the media; it was just random people that had tickets to go, and it grew beyond. It was just a party and conventions, and it kind of lost its way. And then COVID happened, and there was no need to do it in person. We'll just do it online. We'll do it ourselves. So
Well, yeah, as soon as they learned that too, then they didn't want to even bother. So that's why now we have Summer Game Fest from Jeff Keighley. Keighley, the same does the video game awards. It's on June 8th, and they've already got a huge list of partners. Activision, Xbox is going to show some stuff. Sony's showing some stuff. Epic Games is showing stuff. Deep Silver's showing some stuff. Maybe we'll get an announcement of when Dead Island's actually going to fucking release.
well, and then you
Yeah.
got the Microsoft Activision is
their thing.
they're now official, and and
Did
I
they
saw
finally finalize it?
Yeah, from what I understand, that they finally cleared it with the FCC or the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, whichever government agency was holding up the sale. Sony got pushed out of the way, and then, but I got to thinking that this acquisition by Microsoft for Activision,
Yeah.
I think this is the death of Halo, because
Well, now they don't need it. Now
They don't need
have
it.
every. Yeah.
they don't need it. They've got
I think they already decided that the death of Halo was a few years ago.
yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, they have Call of Duty and Diablo and Overwatch and goddamn, what's it called? The World of Warcraft. They have all of these huge IPs now, and that are doing well on their own.
Well, and if they actually spent the $500 million that they did on Halo, they're never going to do that again.
Oh no, there will never be. That you're right. That'll never happen again. So
Yeah, if the
I think
rumors
this
are
is it.
true that they're gonna hire multiple studios and have it be like Call of Duty, where this one works on the battle royale and this one works on this campaign and this one works on the Spartan Ops, whatever the fuck. But
Once again, you have the Halo franchise being a follower. That's what fucking killed Halo. That's what did it. It was the fact that they were no longer trendsetters; they were the follow-alongers, and that's what they're doing. They're following in.
And it doesn't work.
Nope.
And they're gonna try it again, and
It's done.
What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing,
And
which is
expecting
wild
different results.
which is wild because in their mind they're not trying the same thing. They're trying new things, but they're not. They're trying the same thing because all they're trying is we'll do what they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll try
That-
it. Yeah, but this is something new for us, so that counts, right? We're
Yeah, that-
innovating
we're
our
always-
story.
it's
It's just
fucking-
it's they're done. It's over. I think the moment that ink dries on that sales contract is the moment where Halo is cast aside because it's not needed. You know, why would they struggle to keep a game afloat when Call of Duty doesn't need that? Call of Duty can release the same fucking game every single fucking year, and it makes millions, if not billions, of dollars every fucking year. Doesn't matter if it's a good game or not. They're still going to buy it. I mean, I don't think that's the proper.
They buy it and then they bitch about it for 2 months and then they stop playing it.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
By then, they've already bought it.
It's happened with the last like 3 or 4 Call of Duties.
Yeah.
Everyone's bought it, played it for a couple months, said this is shitty, it's broken or whatever, and then they move on and they go to the next Call of Duty or the Fortnite or the this or that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Fuck.
But with the rise of battle passes and season passes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they're making so much more money.
I wonder if we should talk about that now that I remembered. Yeah, fuck it. Let's talk about it.
Do it.
Speaking of the death of Halo,
All right. Nice pivot.
the game still doesn't work. I was watching some footage from Spartan and Lethal today. I never got Spartan to respond back to me. I guess he doesn't want to be on the podcast. A little too.
His loss.
It was too. He couldn't handle the heat. But I was watching some footage of ghost melees are still in the game. There's lag and rubber banding and all this shit. Like, it's still a fucking problem. And every time I tell people that are playing the game, it's the same reason I don't want to play Destiny. No matter how many people tell me Destiny's better now.
That PvP that last
I
week
feel
was
like
so good.
I feel like you're all about. I say y'all because you're the Destiny person.
It's good. It's
Guy at work telling me the same thing about Destiny's too, but block that guy.
what?
Oh, what the hell?
What did he say?
What the hell? I don't know what just happened. Hold on, I gotta fix my camera. But anyways,
I didn't catch what he said.
well, I'm not gonna say what he said.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but
I didn't catch it in time. You got it before I could scroll down to it.
yeah, I got it.
Anyway,
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I don't remember. Say oh like I remember.
oh,
was I
you're
saying?
talking about we were watching game footage of somebody in Lethal.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the game doesn't work still. And the people that are playing Halo, there's several of them, tell me, no, get on, it's so good now. No, it's not. Guess what the problem they had literally like 2 weeks ago that is supposedly been patched out, but I haven't been able to confirm it. And I'll get to a reason why I haven't been able to confirm it. Forge was broken. You couldn't save.
Oh my God, really?
So you could forge, sure, fucking forge for hours and then not be able to save. Yeah, there
Oh
was
my
some glitch
God.
with Forge. I mean, it literally feels like they're trying to drive it into the ground. Maybe it's just unfortunate accident. Just literally everything is going against them. But like, holy cow! Like it's so yeah. Supposedly it's been fixed, but the reason I don't know if it has been fixed or not is because everyone's moved on to UEFN. What is UEFN? We talked about it a little bit on the Discord, the Bigspod Discord. Fortnite, Epic Games, and a huge fucking brilliant move to keep Fortnite on top for another fucking year or two, released UEFN, which is Unreal Engine in Fortnite. Basically, what it is it's Unreal Engine Lite. So Unreal Engine is the tool that a bunch of developers use to throw game assets in, develop video games. So like, why is this a big deal? I feel like a lot of people don't understand how fucking powerful it is.
Yeah.
And it ties back into why I haven't been able to confirm if the Fortnite saving is fixed or not, because every single Halo Forger I know is not doing anything in Forge right now. They're all fucking around in Unreal Engine on Fortnite. Because literally, not only did they give you the Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine is already free unless you publish something, then Epic has like licensings and this and that. But literally anyone can go right now and download Unreal Engine and you could make your own game. It's literally powerful enough that you can make your own game. But the difference is with this, it's like Forge, because you can share your creations in Fortnite. Anyone can download it, load it up, and play it. And on top of that, Epic made a thing where you can be a creator and get paid for your creations. If you're one of the top, like, we'll call it forgers, but if you're one of the top Unreal Engine developers or whatever, and they call them islands, but if your map or whatever, your game is popping off and you're one of the top, you're getting a ton of downloads and engagement and stuff, you literally get paid from Epic Games. Oof. Halo doesn't do that. Oof. If you fucking pop off, like, so yeah, literally, Unlimited Forges, is that his name?
I don't know. Is it?
One of the really Infinite Forges. Why did I say Unlimited? Infinite Forges, who has made a ton of like really cool looking shit on Halo Infinite, which, all right, we just don't play it. Sorry, but I've watched some streams with him messing around in UEFN, and so the cool thing that they did, every single asset from Fortnite from the beginning to now, the buildings, the weapons, everything that Epic has ever used in Fortnite is available in the game, in the Unreal Engine editor. On top of that, you can throw in your own assets. I watched a video of a guy that went down the street, used his iPhone to scan a like cool cement looking block that had like graffiti and shit on it. He went home, loaded up the Unreal Engine, threw it in, loaded up Fortnite, and was playing, 20 minutes later after he just scanned an asset and threw it in the game. The other really cool thing about why it's way better than Forge, you can have scripting of cutscenes. Forge like lets you do scripting of like objects and stuff. You can script cutscenes. You can script camera movements. You can script. You can script day and night cycles. Literally, your map. We've never had, other than in Halo 3, you could like alter lighting elements. There were some real like hack ways you could have like day and night back in Halo 3. Again, Forge has gotten more complicated and less cool over the years. Yeah, you can script fucking day and night cycles. You can have a day and night map. You can script all the same stuff you can script in Forge, like objects and all that. You can do all that, but you can script a cutscene. You can make a literal whole game where I've seen. I'll get why this is so fucking great. This isn't my cream of the week. I wanted to talk about it last week, but it's fucking insane. Because of the licensing too, the possibilities are endless. Master Chief is in there. Destiny characters are in there. Gears of War characters are in there. Star Wars. You can make your own Star Wars fucking maps. You can make your own Halo BR in Unreal Engine on Fortnite. And because of the shareability and the amount of fucking players that Fortnite has, like, it's insane. I watched some people playing Capture the Flag on a Call of Duty map in Fortnite. I watched people playing Call of Duty Capture the Flag with like fucking anime characters and a Master Chief running around, and like because of their licensing is insane. Like, yeah, it's the possibilities are endless. I watched in the first week that it was out, somebody made Flappy Birds, a 2D side-scrolling fucking Flappy Birds. Like, I don't think people like. Well, okay, a lot of people realize that the potential is fucking insane, but like they literally just changed the game. It might be a little complicated depending how complex the map and the stuff you want to make is, but you can literally load game assets into it, put custom materials on it, do custom skins, do all kinds of stuff, and literally load it up and play fucking Fortnite. I've already seen testing going on of people trying to make Halo BR, a Halo BR in Fortnite. Like, I've already seen testing and seen some people fucking around and mess with it. It has terrain editors. It has water, and water interacts with stuff, and you can add steam and mist and all this stuff, lighting. Like, it's insane the amount of stuff you can do. Forge is now fucking pointless. Like, I mean, we already had, like I said, Unreal Editor was already a thing, but I mean, how are you going to share it? I'm going to make it on my computer and somehow send it to you to download the file and then somehow play it.
Right.
Now that it's in Fortnite, there's a user interface that I can just share a link with you, and you load up Fortnite and just play my map, and then I can share it on the creator platform. And like, it's insane. Like, it's only been out for like a week or like 8 days or something. And it's kind of insane, some of the stuff I've already seen come out of it. Like, I can't wait to see where it's going to go from here. Like, the power is in the shareability of the creations. That's
Right.
Well, the secondary power is in the licensing. Because of everything that you can have Spider-Man swinging around. You can make your own fucking Spider-Man game because Spider-Man's in Fortnite. You can have Mandalorian you could make
I
your
wanna
own
know how
Star
they did
Wars
that.
Mandalorian episodes.
I want to know how Lucasfilm and Disney turned over the licenses for those. They had to have paid an ungodly amount of money.
Well, Epic makes so much fucking money on
Yeah,
Fortnite.
it's got to be a
Now-
huge amount of money.
Yeah, I don't know how much they paid, but it's insane that they have licensing for everything.
Yeah.
And now they've done this. Like, Fortnite is not going anywhere
Right.
anytime soon.
I agree.
Like, it's one thing that a lot of people are worried about is because of the ease of being able to load in assets and like throw your own materials on it. Which material is basically the mesh, the colors, your own skin. There's a lot of people that are worried about, they're gonna throw in the whole thing that went down with Pokimane, the AI porn that was made of her. People are like, they're gonna throw her naked skins in the game and stuff. And as far as I know, Epic has an insane amount of people working for them because they make ungodly amounts of money. I'm sure they'll be fine keeping up with not safe for work stuff. Way
Right.
better than 343 will ever be at keeping up with stuff released in Forge. Forge, if you can even save at this point, I have no idea. I don't know if it actually got fixed or patched out. It blew me away. Literally, like 5 days before Epic came out and said, "Here's a unlimited possibilities mode of Forge that's way fucking better." The only downside to it, is because of what it is and what it does and everything. You can only do it on PC. You can't. That's one plus that I'd say Forge has over it. You can load up your Xbox, load up Forge, and start making stuff. It is way easier to forge or create with a mouse and a keyboard. But yeah, Unreal Engine you can't load up on a console, unfortunately. But you can play all the creations on console. So like if I made something and invited you to come play it, I could play it on my PC or on my Xbox, and you could play it on the Xbox. Like,
Right.
just the creation part of it has to be on PC. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes and see somebody. I know a few people that are working on a project. I don't know if they'll ever finish it, but literally a Halo BR is being made right now. That'll be sick if they actually finish it and make it. Yeah.
Well, let's roll
the
into
cream of the week.
let's roll into the cream of the week. Huh?
How have you been, Q?
Yeah. How you been? How you been, Oreo? You want to go first or second?
What was I gonna do? Oh, I had one.
All right, go for it.
I was gonna do Mandalorian, but we already did that. We basically
Yeah, pretty
we
much.
basically covered that. We already jerked off and did our dick writing for FNF. If you haven't watched it yet, fucking watch it. But I've been watching a new anime that's insane. I don't think I've ever been this fucking stressed. So it's called Erased. It's on a bunch of different platforms, but Crunchyroll, I think it's on Hulu too. But so the story is it's a guy that's like a pizza delivery guy. This is how it starts. And he's on his little scoot riding down the road going to deliver a pizza, and all of a sudden he has this insane flash of deja vu where he's like, wait a minute, I just drove down the street. And he's like, oh fuck, it's happening again. And so what happens is he gets these weird things. He calls it revival, but it's where he goes back in the past like 1 to like 5 minutes, and every time he does it, there's some like tragedy or some shit that goes down around him. So like he flashes back and he goes, "Oh shoot, where is it? Where is it? What's going on?" And he starts looking around, and what he sees is like a little kid crossing the street right as a huge, truck is barreling towards him, and he looks, and the dude driving the truck is like asleep. He's out. And so he starts chasing it down on his scoot, trying to grab it, and he fucking jerks the wheel and ends up like getting in an accident, waking up in the hospital, and all these people are like, you're the hero, you saved the little kid, and the driver was actually already dead. He had a heart attack. You just didn't know. We can't believe that you saw it and you saved the kid, but. And so like this all happens in the first like 5 minutes of the show, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck, like, and then it shows him like going and hanging out with his mom, and I'll reveal like the first episode to you.
All right,
I won't do any spoilers.
I probably won't watch it, but that's fine.
That's what I figure. Most of you won't watch it, but it's a really cool story. So he goes home, and like it's a few days later, and he's hanging out with his mom and everything, and he's like, "Why are you here, Mom? I haven't seen you in so long." And you know how the whole thing goes. Oh, where you got hurt, whatever, blah blah blah. So, anyways, she like mentions how, hey, remember when you were a kid and that little girl went missing? And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, she was found like the day after my birthday. She was found in the snow after the snow melted. That she'd been missing for a while, and the snow melted. They found her body and all this stuff. And she's like, yeah, it still hasn't been solved to this day. And like she's mentioning all this when in the back of her mind, she used to be a journalist, a reporter, and she's actually like narrowing in. Because her son, way back in the day, there was like this 23-year-old that, the weird lonely guy that hangs out with kids and nobody like trusts, because like, why is he hanging out with kids? Fucking weirdo. They all blamed him back in the day. It was 18 years ago. They all blamed him. He killed the little girl, and then there was two more kids that ended up going missing, and they never did find their bodies, and they like blame him. And he was always the one that played with this kid who was like kind of a loner, and they blamed him, and he told everyone back in the day, it wasn't him, I know him, he's a good guy. But yeah, anyways, his mom's like looking into it and thinks that her son was right. All these years later, hey, I think you were right. I've been looking into it. Well, anyways, he goes to work, and he comes back the next day, and there's a guy walking away from his house, and he goes in his house, and his mother's murdered. She's on the floor, fucking knife in her stomach. She's been killed. And he's like, oh, fuck, that was him. And like, so he goes start trying to chase the guy, and like he's got blood all over him and all over his hands, and like some lady sees him, and then she goes and looks in the apartment and goes, oh no, and like call 911. And so they blame him. Mm-hmm. They think he killed his mom. And then so all of a sudden, like he's running, and like the police are coming for him, and he has a revival. But guess where he goes? It's not back 1 or 5 minutes. He goes back to 1988, 18 years earlier. He's a kid walking up to school, and it's a week before that little girl goes missing. And he's like, what the fuck? Maybe I can change the future. And then that's the whole fucking show, is him trying to fix and change the past. And like, it's got me so fucking stressed, because like, the little girl's gonna die. And like the way they've written it, and I think it's like 11 episodes, and it's just, that's it, and it's done. They finished the whole story. But like, man, some of the episodes I'm watching and the way it ends, and like, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say she dies again. But then he goes back again. Yeah. It's fucking it's crazy. So, yeah, anime is fun. I like anime because it's like the whole thing we said, TV shows
Right.
23 minutes. Like every episode of this is like 23 minutes and there's only 11 episodes to watch. So it'll only take me like a week and then I'm done with it. I can go on to some other one.
That makes sense.
Like, it's just fun. And now it seems like watching anime is cool again. Or
Yeah.
cool for once. It wasn't back in the day.
It's back. It's on the same par as the other nerd stuff like Star Wars or playing video games or comic books.
Yeah.
It's no longer taboo. It's no longer something that only the weird kids do. Now it's so commonplace. And as much as we don't say we're not going to watch those movies, we're not interested in watching a 3-hour movie or whatnot. That it's those movies that have done it. It's the Marvel movies.
It's F.
Yeah.
F.
Yeah, it's the Favreau, man. Favreau single-handedly made nerds cool again. That's a good way of putting it.
He kind of did. I mean,
Yeah, no, you're right. He absolutely
it's
did.
it's the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
He definitely played a big part in making nerds cool. If he never made Iron Man, and if Marvel movies would Marvel movies be a thing even without Favreau? Who knows? But all we do know is Favreau has saved Star Wars and has made nerds cool.
Yeah.
So you need to respect the F.
Respect the F. There's your episode.
Respect the Fs.
Respect the Fs. So yesterday, Heather and I went to see the new D&D movie.
Oh, is it good?
I had so much fun. I enjoyed it because I play D&D. I'm a dungeon master. It's what I do.
Yeah.
There was tons of Easter eggs. There's creatures in passing that I'm like, oh, that's a such and such. Or, oh, yeah, that's this. And they reference locations that are big locations in D&D. They talk about Neverwinter. They talk about Baldur's Gate. And it was just like, oh, that's so cool. But even if you're not a D&D fan, or even if you've not played D&D, you don't know anything. It's still a funny, campy movie. It's still an adventure movie. It's a buddies on an adventure, saving the day type movie. But then on the flip side, coming back to it, if you're a hardcore fan of D&D, they stayed true to not only the lore of Dungeons and Dragons, of Faerun, and all of that. They stayed true to the game mechanics. They stayed true to spell casting. Like the wizard in their group, he's got a caster's kit with all the materials he needs to cast his spells, and you see when he goes to cast a spell, he reaches and gets something out of his caster's kit. And if it's a spoken spell, he says the words to cast the spell. And once again, that's not something that matters to the casual viewer that's watching it. It's just like, oh, that's what wizards do. But they stay true to game mechanics. They stay true. I mean, and they really did. I mean, now they bent some of the more rigid rules to just because you need it for storytelling.
Yeah.
But
is it like a whole campaign, or is it just like one?
It would be
playthrough of what a campaign.
I guess it would be one adventure. Campaign is not right because a campaign is made
it's
up.
It's like a one-off.
Yeah, it's it's the main character is trying to revive his wife. His wife has passed away, and his
how many people are gonna now play this as a one-off?
Well, I did. I went to D&D Beyond because I was like, they've got to have something for it. They don't have this campaign or this adventure per se, but they have character sheets for the characters as NPCs. So you can introduce Michelle Rodriguez's character, the female human barbarian. She has a stat block. She has special abilities. She's just another NPC that you could have in the game. Like, oh, you meet this female barbarian in the tavern, and she's telling you this story about her and her human bard friend and how they went on an adventure together. And the bad guys, they have a stat block, and the things that the evil things that they do in the movie is represented in their stat block. Like, a certain bad guy has a certain weapon. He has a crossbow, and it's referenced in the stat block. Okay, he has this special crossbow that does acid damage, and that's his gimmick. And I thought that was really, really cool.
It looks fun.
It's fun. It's campy. It's a comedy first, an adventure movie second.
That was my worry, that not that it would be adventure second, that it would be the whole thing in the trailer that they played everywhere a billion times. The thing where, I have 5 questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Did that count as a question? Yes. Oh shit. Yeah. The whole thing. I was like, I really hope that wasn't the only funny part in the movie, and that's not why they're playing that every fucking where.
It's a comedy first. It's a comedy first, and it is very funny. And there's little things like that me as a DM, as a storyteller, that we've dealt with. These are not uncommon situations that you create this.
Rodriguez is in it.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez is in it.
I kind of want to watch it just for Justice, the kid that's also in Jurassic World.
Yeah,
and like a bunch of other stuff recently, because he's really fucking cool. And I was watching an interview too about this movie, and he had said that he actually snuck in some sign language when he's doing some of the spells.
Mm-hmm.
He used some actual sign language that actually meant something, like in meaning towards whatever spell he was casting.
He plays a.
Is he the wizard or something?
He plays the wizard. He's the half elf wizard.
Does he do fireball?
Oh yeah. But but he's not very good at it. He's
still learning.
He's
how
still
to be
learning.
A wizard?
He's a low level.
Oh, okay.
and but that's what makes it kind of fun, because you're a D&D player, so you get those references. But the scene that they show in the trailer of asking the skeleton questions.
5 questions. Yeah.
They only end up asking him 4, and they just leave after they get the information that they needed in 4 questions. They just left, and that's the type of shit that you deal with as a dungeon master. It's like, okay, you get 5 questions, and they just don't play into it, or they need more questions. And it's really, really funny as somebody that plays the game. But you can sit and watch this movie just because you like the actors that are in it, and still get everything that's going on. You don't have to play Dungeons and Dragons to understand the plot. You don't have to understand any of that for it to make sense. But if you do follow it, it's so much more fun, because you recognize the creatures, you recognize the NPCs, you recognize the spells. It's the D&D movie that we needed to have, because the last 2 D&D movies were saying that they were terrible was being kind to them.
Yeah. I don't remember. I thought there was only one other one.
There's a cartoon that came out in the mid 80s, I think.
Oh, Google says there's a bunch. There's one in 2000, one in 2005, one in 2012.
I don't remember which one it was that I watched last, but it was so bad. And
there's Dungeons and Dragons: Wrath of the Dragon God.
I hadn't seen that one.
There's Dungeons and Dragons 3: The Book of Vile Darkness.
Let's see here.
And then there's just Dungeons and Dragons in 2000.
I think that's the one I'm referring to.
It's got Marlon Wayans in it.
Yes, that's it.
That's the one you're thinking of?
Yeah.
That came out in 2000. Let's see.
That one.
The images don't look good.
Oh no, it wasn't good.
Her character looks cool.
But
that's cool thing. Like just more of the nerdy stuff. The like Critical Role and Dimension 20 and like Matt Mercer and Brendan and like all these fucking and Vin Diesel plays and fucking Henry Cavill's like all these. It's so cool to be a nerd. I mean, we've said this 1,000 fucking times, but it's
Yeah.
cool that it's finally come around.
the Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out in 2000 is the one that I had seen last, and it was
Not good.
no, it wasn't good. But this one was so much fun. It was well worth it. You know, we went and saw it at the cheap theater. You know, we didn't go to one of the big chain theaters where you spend like $70 to go see a movie. I think we spent $35-$40 between the tickets and the food, like popcorn and drinks. You know, every seat in the theater is busted, and we jokingly we have 2 theaters here in town that are like that, and we have the downtown theater, and then we have one that's across the river, across our bridge, and we
You
call
have 2 broke down
Yes.
theaters.
Yeah, we have 4 theaters in our area total. We've got a Regal Cinemas, and then we've got another big IMAX style theater, and then we've got these 2 mom and pop theaters, and they used to be owned by different people. And I realized when we were there, they're now owned by the same people, and they're separated by maybe 2.5-3 miles total. But the one that we went to wasn't the downtown theater. This was the other one. We call it Sticky Floors. And that tells you everything you need to know about that theater. The chairs are busted. The floors are sticky. Nobody really cares. It's cheap. You know, tickets for the movie were $7.
That's the one. That's the one you go to for the watching link or whatever. What are the kids calling it these days?
Well, that's the one. That's the one that we go to for movies that, you know, like, okay, we want to go see them, but we don't. I mean, we're not going to go see Star Wars at that one. We're going to go see that one in the AMC or the IMAX, or, you know, the Marvel movies. We see those. These are for the other ones that we want to see, but we just don't want to spend a lot of money. But it was a lot of fun. I would have liked to seen this one in IMAX. I might in a couple of weeks do that. Go and see it at the IMAX because it's very thematic at times, and there's some really fun special effects, and some of the creatures that they run across, I think, would be a lot of fun to see them in like that really high definition.
Yeah.
But there's some of the weapons, and there's a magical item that they use, or both. There's 2 magical items that they use in the movie. That one I know is an in-game magical item. That there was rules for it before this movie, but they've updated the rules for that magical item, and you can introduce that item into your games and your campaigns. That particular one, there's no way I would ever introduce it in one of our games because y'all would break it immediately, and you would abuse it. You would abuse its rules, and that was just like never again.
Not me.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. If you like nerdy, campy comedies, this was a lot of fun. If you're a fan of D&D, you should absolutely go see it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, D&D, Honor Among Thieves, a lot of fun. Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if we'll
good.
go to the theater for it. I'll probably wait till I can watch it. But
And then I'll share my one other one that we can wrap it up. I also watched.
you got 2.
Oh,
you got creamed
yeah,
twice, huh?
Creamed twice. Yeah, basically.
You got DP'd by the Fs. Okay.
Absolutely. I watched. Was it The Immeasurable Weight of Being Famous? It's the Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal.
Man.
That's so funny.
The funniest thing I was thinking earlier, I don't remember what you said, but you said something about, we were talking about, I said I like Justice and I might watch it for him, and you said this would absolutely be one to watch even if you know nothing about D&D, you're just watching it for actors. That's the only way I even watch movies anymore. I'll watch whatever TV shows. I'll give 20 or 30 minutes to an episode or two, and then if your show's not good, then I'm out.
Right.
The only way I watch movies anymore is because of people, and that because Pedro Pascal's in that. I really want to fucking watch it.
I watched an interview with him concerning the movie, and he said that this is the character that he plays in the movie is the closest to his real personality that he's ever played on in a movie or TV.
Yeah,
like this.
I heard that, and it sounds even more fun.
And it is. I mean, it is.
Well, there's two memes. The one super famous one is the one where they're driving. He does the smile, but the other meme too is the one where he's like hanging off of the wall, and they're like, "Don't let me go."
Oh my
and
god,
like,
that scene was so funny. The extended what you see in the meme is funny, but seeing that entire scene and what's going on in the context of that scene is
funny,
even funnier. But
what
I will
is it?
say
It's the unbearable weight.
right.
There it is. Unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it?
So, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage
Hulu,
plays
Netflix, or is it in theaters?
It came out in 2000. I didn't realize it was.
It came out.
Yeah.
Oh, it came out 2022.
Or 2022, so it came out last year. I knew it's been out for a while, and I don't know why we're just now getting to it as a culture. But anyway, Nicolas Cage plays himself. He's an actor. He's the Nicolas Cage, and there's all kinds of references to all of his other movies.
Yeah.
There's he references lines, he references scenes. It's
from actual Nicolas Cage
from
movies?
from all of his ones. He makes a comment about the bees. He makes I mean even the memes. He touches on everything. I mean, there was something that they were doing and they were needing to run, and Pedro's like, you're way faster than I am, and Nick's like, how do you know that? And he goes, because in National Treasure you did all your own stunts. And he goes, "Oh yeah, okay."
All right, I need
so
to watch
funny.
this.
But I'll
I'll
tell you this, and this is the only thing.
I don't hate Nicolas Cage. He's just he's fucking weird.
He's a meme of himself, and
He's so weird.
and they play into that in this movie. But the one thing that I like that I didn't know, and I'm going to put it in context for you, and it's not really a spoiler, but the scene where they're in the car, the meme, the one,
the super famous,
famous meme, they're on LSD in that scene.
Oh, that's why. Okay,
and that's what makes it even funnier, is that they're on acid.
All right. Don't tell me anything else. I'm gonna watch
So
that for
good.
sure.
I mean,
I'm downloading it right now.
I laughed and laughed. It was stupid, and there was some parts, especially in the beginning, it's very cringy. I mean, there's that whole secondhand embarrassment. It gets a little cringy in the beginning, but it's so much fun. I had so much fun watching it. I'm like you. I love Pedro Pascal, but I like Nicolas Cage too. But I just accept.
He's just weird.
I just accept him
get
for
the
what he
cringy
is.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
It's so funny.
that does sound cool that he like leans into his weirdness and him.
Oh yeah,
what he is.
Yeah,
So,
he fully understands his role as an actor, like who he is, and I mean, there's some of the obscure ones that he did, and there's a Face Off reference. It's so funny, and there's Easter eggs throughout the movie of other movies that he had done that aren't directly referenced. You just kind of see something in passing that's, oh yeah, that's from such and such movie, and it's so good. I if you haven't seen it, we watched it through Amazon Prime. We paid like $6 and rented it, and sat and watched it, and it was
I'm gonna watch
so
that
funny.
this next couple days. I don't know when, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna watch that. Since you got two, I have a second one.
All right, go for it.
I might have mentioned it before. It might have been a cream of the week before, but can't remember 100%.
Okay.
Because I recommend it to so many people.
All right.
Speaking of F, Jon Favreau,
Okay.
Daddy F,
Daddy F.
and Uncle F.
Yeah. Dave Filoni is Daddy F though.
Maybe in your mind.
John Favreau is the uncle. I think he really is the uncle.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
He's
both
the fun
Fs.
uncle. Yeah.
That's true. He does seem more fun. I don't know. Filoni's fun too, but I could see him being way more serious. I guess you're right. He could be the dad. But so Uncle F, if you want to see what John Favreau is all about, I'm going to recommend you a movie that he wrote and directed and starred in.
Okay.
The trifecta, and it's amazing. It's literally, it might be in my top 10. It's definitely in my top 20 favorite movies. It's so fucking good. Chef.
What?
Chef. It's just called Chef.
Oh, Chef. Yeah. I've not seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
And it stars John Favreau as a chef, and he did all the actual cooking in the show. He's trained with chefs. He's done stuff with Binging with Babish. He has a show on Netflix based on this movie where he does chef stuff with chefs. He has an episode on the Netflix show. It's called Chef something. It's not just Chef. The movie's called Chef. But he has an episode with Dave Filoni where they're at the Starwalker Ranch. And Dave Filoni's talking, that famous story about how he almost didn't even work on Star Wars at all. He thought the fucking phone call of, hey, you're going to be a writer on Star Wars. He thought it was a prank. And I think he hung up once. And then they're like, no, for real. And he's like, wait, what? He talks about that on the show. But to ignore the show, the Netflix show is cool and all, but the movie is so fucking good. Like him as like a passionate chef, it shows you who John Favreau is, the passion. And yeah, you're right, him being the fun uncle, it's a really good show. It's a fun show to watch him be a chef and like make try to be a dad, but also run like a fucking restaurant and then a food truck and like all this shit. But yeah, if you want to know what Uncle F is all about, you can't get better than the show that he wrote, directed, and starred in. So yeah, watch Chef.
All right.
It's really good. I think it's on Netflix. I'm almost positive because they kind of need it on there to go with the TV show. Yeah, it's on. Well, hold on. That's the Chef show. Let me check if it's on Netflix. I'll tell you. The Chef show is on Netflix.
Couldn't Google
There's three seasons of it. Let's see if Chef is on there. That's funny. It's not. Well, the Chef show's on there. Where's the fucking Chef? I wish there was a better way you could like fucking just know where stuff is streaming.
Yeah.
Chef show? No, I don't want the Chef show. I'm trying to find out for you guys so you can watch it because it's really good. If you want to know Uncle F. Where do I stream and watch?
While you're searching for that, how much
HBO Max? Oh, Prime Video. Let me see. Hold on. How much is what?
How much of Hogwarts do you have left?
I'm still in the same spot.
Okay. Are you? I finished it. We're now.
Can you watch it free? Oh, you finished it?
Yeah, we finished the first playthrough. We're still collecting items, but we're at the point now where we go to one zone, and it'll show you in the menu like, okay, you've got so many of these left, so many of this left to find, so many of this left to do in each zone, and now it's just like we started at the top of the map, and we're just going zone to zone to zone to zone,
collecting stuff,
just collecting everything that's left in that zone and just 100%ing it. So that's all we have left. We finished the story and everything. So we need to do a spoiler cast soon.
So, Chef, here it is. All right. Dustin Hoffman and Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, and a bunch of other stars too. Russell Peters, they're all in this movie. So it looks like it's on Prime. You can buy it for $4, or you can sign up for a 7-day free trial with Cinemax. Watch it and then cancel your Cinemax free trial. It's on Amazon Prime though. If you want to go through the trouble of starting a Cinemax thing to watch, it's really good. Did he do this before when did Iron Man come out? I feel like it came out so long ago, but
2004?
Iron Man. Yeah, so he did this after. Iron Man came out in 2008.
Really? I thought it was earlier than
Iron,
that.
Iron Man 2 came out in 2010. And then he executive produced Avengers in 2012 and Iron Man in 2013, and then Chef came out in 2014.
All right, we need to wrap it up. I'm falling asleep.
Wrap you up.
No, don't make promises you can't cash.
All right, let's see. Oh, all right. Well, we gotta play one more ad, and that'll play us out.
Play us out. What does that mean to play us out?
I don't know.
Are you tired of your old, boring mattress? Upgrade to the most comfortable sleep of your life with Sleep Easy mattresses. Our memory foam technology will have you feeling like you're sleeping on a cloud. Plus, our mattresses are made with the highest quality materials, so you can rest easy knowing you're getting a great value. We know you fuck a lot because you listen to Pigs Pod. So why are you busting nuts on that old busted mattress? Upgrade your sleep today at pigspod.com.
Right.
All right.
Thank you, Sleep Easy, for the sponsorship. Go to pigspod.com to get your Sleep Easy mattress so you can bust nuts on a brand new mattress.
Did you know mattresses are supposed to be replaced every 3 years?
Yeah, not in this economy.
Yeah. Heather and I have the same mattress when we got married.
Oh, yeah, I think we got our mattress like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
We've had this mattress for like 10 years. So I feel like we've been talking about it for a while. It's like, you know what? We've rotated and flipped and turned. Like, I think
Done every which way.
Yeah, I think it's time to get a new mattress.
Well, you can get a Sleep Easy.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Shout out to Sleep Easy. All right, man. That was fun.
Ooh, it's just finished downloading The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I don't know if I have time to watch it tonight, but
Oh, it's good. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Maybe I'll watch it during lunch at work and just take a couple days to watch it. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else we need to discuss. But we'll probably, I don't know. We might play some clips of the other interview. Maybe not. It's already been released in full, and this week the other two interviews will be released in full. So if you want to listen to those, follow, download, whatever on Spotify, or you can just go right to pigspod.com and listen. Other than that, that's it. Okay, bye, Q.
Bye, Oreo.
Bye.